There was no rival, only inevitability.
Hello everyone, welcome to What If Naruto Threw Out Heaven and Earth, He Alone Became the Strongest One movie. Before we start, please go support jazmingiordan for writing that awesome fanfic. This is the translated version I made. There will be some mistake in character's gender, but of course Naruto is a male. Chapter 1. The narrator narrates, I walk. Naruto was a little tired, having trained all morning because a giant fox inside him woke him up. Yes, friends, we're talking about Kurama. You might be wondering how Naruto gets along with Kurama. Well, it's very simple, we just have to go back a few days. Flashback. 10-year-old Naruto was bored because he didn't know what to do, and lying in bed wasn't helping much. So he decided to go for a walk. He got out of bed, put on his ninja sandals, and went out to walk through the streets of Konoha. People kept giving him dirty looks, and one of them threw a rock at him. Then all the villagers nearby started throwing rocks too, laughing. Naruto started running to get away, but the villagers chased him. He took a wrong turn and ran into even more people waiting for him. Since he had nowhere to go, Naruto stood there not knowing what to do. The villagers grabbed him and dragged him to an alley where they started beating him with stones, sticks, and metal bars, and cutting him with their knives. After the beating, the villagers got tired and left, leaving Naruto lying in a pool of his own blood since they had also stabbed him. He punched him 10 times in the stomach, in addition to writing demon on his back, after which Naruto fell unconscious. Naruto's mind space. Naruto, where am I? Brat, follow my voice. A voice called out from one of the paths of what seemed to be a sewer. Upon hearing this otherworldly voice, Naruto hesitated, wondering whether to go or not, but ultimately walked towards the mysterious voice that called him. He walked for 30 minutes until he reached a fairly large open space. In front of Naruto was a giant cage with a large seal bearing the kanji for seal. But behind the bars, a giant, blood-red eye appeared, followed by another identical eye staring at Naruto, who looked at it with a mixture of fear and curiosity. Then a giant fox with orange fur and 9 tails, each tipped with black, appeared. Naruto, who are you? Kyuubi. I am the Kyuubi no Yoko, or 9-tailed fox. Naruto, wait, but aren't you dead? Kyuubi. Of course not, brat, I'm a demon, so you can't kill a demon. Naruto, so it's a lie that the 4th Hokage killed you. Kyuubi, yeah, brat, he just sealed me inside you, but oh well, why did you come? Naruto, the truth is, I don't even know, I just know I fainted, right, I'm going to die. Sighs, oh well, what can you do? There's nothing I can do about it, even though I would have liked to become the next Hokage of this village. Naruto said depressedly, knowing he was about to die, while the Kyuubi looked at him silently until it decided to speak. Kyuubi, you're not going to die, snot or. Naruto, and how do you know that? Kyuubi, because my chakra is healing you. Naruto, your chakra. Kyuubi, if my chakra is there, then it's impossible for you to die, well, that is unless they rip out your heart or your head. Naruto, that doesn't help much, thought Naruto with an anime-style sweat drop. Hey, Kyuubi. Kyuubi is what? Naruto, do you like being here? The Kyuubi was surprised by the blonde's question since no one had ever asked him that before. Kyuubi, of course not, I don't like being locked up. Naruto, I understand, I wouldn't like it either, I'm very sorry. Kyuubi, why are you apologizing, brat? Naruto, because of me you can't be free. Kyuubi, calm down, brat. I'm used to being locked up my whole life since they treat me like a weapon. Naruto, no, you are not a weapon and you shouldn't be locked up and alone because you are a living being like everyone else, therefore you have the right to be free. If the Kyuubi was surprised, that was an understatement. He was in shock at what the blonde boy said. No one in his long life had ever told him the things Naruto had just said. The Kyuubi stared at the blonde boy with wide eyes until he came out of his shock. Kyuubi, you're the first person who told me that. Naruto, really, Kyuubi, si. The whole place fell into an awkward silence until the 9-tailed fox spoke. Kurama, Kurama. Naruto, what Kuramas? My name is Kurama. Naruto, well, nice to meet you, Kurama, I'm Naruto Uzumaki. Kurama, I already know that, I also know about your parents. Naruto, wait, you met him, why parents? Kurama, if you brat the cone's eye. Kurama told him how he knew his parents, how he was controlled by an Uchiha to destroy the village, and how he killed his parents. But Naruto didn't care and became friends with Kurama, making the great fox smile. Later, Kurama decided to train him and teach him ninja history and everything, but only after Naruto graduated from the academy. End of flashback. Kurama, very good kid, you've made a lot of progress these last few days. Naruto, thanks Kurama. After the training, Naruto went home because he couldn't do any more after strengthening his stamina and strength. When he got home, all he did was lie down, completely exhausted, and then he fell asleep. Kurama, I'll tell you the truth tomorrow, kid. Chapter 2. The narrator narrates. It was already morning, the sun was just rising and the birds were singing, while in an apartment a blonde boy with tan skin was sleeping peacefully until he was awakened by Kurama's soft voice. Kurama, Gaki, wake up now. At that moment Naruto wakes up with a start, looking all around until he calms down and sits on the bed staring at the wall. Naruto, Kurama, why did you wake me up like that? Kurama, because I like it now, get up, your training is about to begin. Naruto, okay, I'll get up now. Naruto got out of bed, even though it was obvious he wanted to keep sleeping. He went to the kitchen to make himself a light breakfast since Kurama wouldn't let him eat ramen anymore, well, only occasionally. After finishing his breakfast, he got dressed in black Anbu pants, a white t-shirt, a simple gray jacket, and his black ninja sandals. Kurama had ordered him to buy clothes that weren't orange, saying that wearing orange would get him killed. Naruto reluctantly agreed since Kurama was right. Once he was ready, he left his house and headed for the Forest of Death since nobody ever went there and he was afraid to enter. When Naruto arrived at his training ground, he started warming up, but Kurama spoke to him. Kurama, Gaki, I have something to tell you, so enter your mental space L. Naruto said nothing, he just sat down on the grass like a lotus and closed his eyes, then concentrated on Kurama until he was in his mind space. Naruto, what's wrong, Kurama? Kurama, the thing is, I didn't tell you the whole truth about your mother. Naruto, and what is it? Kurama, you see Naruto, your mother is in Uzumaki, but she's of pure royal blood, meaning she's a princess, and not from just any place but from Uzumaki, the place where a lot of Uzumakis like your mother lived. They were a very powerful clan among the ninja nations, even just mentioning the Uzumaki name was frightening. But anyway, that's not the point. What I'm getting at is that your clan, the Uzumaki, was known for its monstrous chakra reserves that could last for weeks, months, fighting against another Uzumaki. They were also feared for their fuinjutsu or sealing techniques, and their 4 Kekkei, which were powerful but also useful. Naruto, was my clan really that strong? Kurama. Yes, but it was massacred by Kumo and Iwa, who had allied to massacre the Uzumaki clan, although they later suffered losses at the hands of the nuns since the Uzumaki killed many before being defeated in their own village, leaving only ruins of what was once the homeland of the Uzumaki. And Kushina, your mother and the princess of Uzumaki, had to go to Konoha to be safe. What? After telling Naruto everything, Kurama also decided to tell him that he had a seal preventing his Uzumaki blood from flowing. Kurama said he would help him with that, but that he needed Naruto to tell the Hokage he was leaving the village for a few days to train, but that he would return for the Genin exams. So he went to the Hokage Tower where Hiruzen was fighting the greatest enemy of every cage, the nightmare, a rival, the paperwork. But when Naruto entered, Hiruzen dropped everything to look at the blonde boy. Hiruzen, what's up, Naruto? What brings you here at this hour? Naruto, well, I want to ask you something, a favor. Hiruzen, and what kind of favor? The middle-aged man spoke with great intrigue, staring at Naruto as if he were studying him with his gaze. Naruto, well, I want you to give me permission to leave the village for training. Hiruzen, training, and who will you go with? Naruto, with Kurama, a man I asked to train me. Hiruzen, and can I meet him? Naruto, no, it's just that she's waiting for me so we can leave. Hiruzen, okay, I'll give you permission to leave, but when will you return? Naruto, don't worry, I'll be back before the exams. Hiruzen, well then, good luck, Naruto, I hope you get stronger. Naruto, I'll do it. Hiruzen, take the permit. Naruto, thank you, goodbyes. Hiruzen, goodbye. After that, Naruto went home to prepare everything. Once he had everything ready, he left, but before he did, Kurama told him to make a shadow clone, which he had taught him days before. Naruto did it somewhat surprised, but when Naruto did as Kurama asked, the clone was possessed by the fox. However, he had to transform into a tall man to avoid raising suspicion. Then they went to the gates of Konoha where they showed them the paper that gave them permission to leave, so they were simply allowed to go. Afterward, Kurama and Naruto began their journey, which lasted 5 days. Every time they stopped to rest, Naruto trained a little until they arrived at the place where Naruto's training would take place. Kurama, we've arrived. Naruto, this is Uzumaki. Kurama, yes, kid, this is where we're going to train. After saying that, Kurama explained to Naruto that he should put some of his blood on the floor, which Naruto obeyed. When the blonde boy put some of his blood on the floor, a barrier opened, allowing Kurama and Naruto to enter and see a place completely destroyed. After watching Naruto his home village where his mother lived, he shed a few tears. Kurama, it's a shame that such a powerful clan ended up like this. Naruto, yes, but I'll restore it no matter what. Then they began exploring the place until they found a building where they could rest since it had gotten dark during their journey, so they fell asleep. Chapter 3. The narrator narrates. The sun was already rising, while Naruto was exploring the place where he and Kurama were until they found the tower, which was intact. So they approached it but couldn't enter. Kurama's Gaki put some of your blood on the door. Naruto, okay. Naruto bit his finger and then applied a little of his blood as Kurama instructed. The door began to glow and then opened. They entered. The place was a little dirty and dusty, but everything was intact as if no one had ever entered to destroy it. Naruto, why is this place intact? Kurama, it must be because of the seal that was there when you put your blood on it. Naruto, that means only an Uzumaki can enter here. Kurama, yes. After that, they began to explore the place, but then they stopped at a door that caught Naruto's attention. He tried to open it but couldn't, so he put some of his blood on it just like he had done with the other door, and then it opened. When they entered, they found an office that was spotless, as if someone had been there before them to clean it. Anyway, they started searching the office until Naruto opened a cabinet where he found a sword. This is it. And next to that sword was a note with 2 scrolls tied together with a black cloth and a mask that was this, in addition to having this clothing. After putting on his new clothes, Naruto found another pair, so he put them away. Then he grabbed the note and the 2 scrolls that were tied together with a cloth. After taking it out, he saw this. He put the Uzumaki ninja headband in his backpack and then began to read what the note said. Note: if you're reading this, you must be an Uzumaki of our clan or a relative of mine. So let me tell you this, our clan is likely extinct, but some survived the massacre, so you're not alone. If you're a relative of mine or the son of my daughter Kushina Uzumaki, then you're my grandson. If you're reading this, I want to tell you that I'm proud of who you are and who you will be. Remember, our clan will always be with you. I've also left you a sword, 2 pieces of clothing, a fox mask, and a summoning scroll from our clan. You also have another scroll containing all your inheritance as my relative and other things you'll learn later. I'll also leave you the Uzumaki weapons like the sword called Mitsuhime. It's the most powerful of all Uzumaki weapons. Its edge never dulls and it's unbreakable by any other sword. Only you, my heir and family member, can wield this sword. If someone else tries to carry it, the sword will be so heavy that even the strongest among them won't be able to lift it. So don't worry about anyone trying to steal it. And one more thing before I go. We Uzumakis are known for our power, you know that well, but also because we never neglect our families and never betray each other. Family always comes first, above all else. Always remember that, otherwise you cannot call yourself worthy of belonging to the Uzumaki clan and you will be banished from our clan. But since I know you won't do that, I have complete faith in you to carry the name of our clan with honor. From Ashina Uzumaki. End of notes. Naruto put the note away and grabbed the scroll that said summoning. It also had the names of some Uzumakis who had signed it, so Naruto wrote his name on it and then put it away. Then he grabbed the other scroll, opened it, but there was nothing there. Naruto, hey Kurama, why is there nothing on this scroll? Kurama, well, why don't you try putting a little of your chakra into it? Naruto, okay. Naruto began to channel a little of his chakra until a wisp of smoke appeared from the scroll. When it dissipated, weapons like shurikens and kunai, precious jewels, and his rightful inheritance were revealed. There was also a photograph of all the Uzumaki ninjas, including his mother, though younger, about his age. The scrolls contained numerous jutsu, including instructions on how to control Uzumaki chakra, Fuinjutsu techniques, and how to control Kekkei Genkai. There were also scrolls explaining how to use his Kekkei Genkai. Naruto put these away knowing he would use them later. Kurama, kid, I must remove the seal that prevents your Uzumaki blood from being released. Naruto, yes. Kurama and Naruto went outside the tower to a place with less rubble. Naruto sat down on the ground where Kurama's clone disappeared. The blonde boy opened his eyes, but now he was lying down as Kurama told him he was going to faint. Meanwhile, in his subconscious, Naruto was with Kurama, who was explaining things to him, such as changes in his body, attitude, hair, eye, and skin color. He also said that his chakra reserves would triple and that his Kekkei Genkai would awaken, but he didn't know which ones. He said that with training they would awaken. After explaining all this, Kurama slowly began to remove the seal, because if he did it all at once, Naruto wouldn't be able to withstand it and could die from the chakra that would be released. The blonde boy removed the seal that had imprisoned Kurama, having broken it only a little. He didn't remove the entire seal, only half, leaving the other half still in the cage. After Kurama slowly removed the seal, Naruto had fainted, so it was going to take him a while to wake up, which is why Kurama also decided to sleep for a while until Naruto woke up from his faint. Chapter 4. The narrator narrates. Naruto had already woken up from the fainting spell he'd suffered after releasing his Uzumaki blood. He also had a different appearance now, standing at 137 meters tall, though still only a 10-year-old boy. His hair was completely red, his eyes were sapphire blue, his skin was a little paler, and his body was more muscular than other children his age. His face was also a bit more mature as his baby cheeks had disappeared, but only slightly. Naruto's physique was the envy of men who looked at him. Anyway, the now red-haired boy was listening to Kurama talk about what he was going to do in the coming months. Kurama, alright kid, the first thing you'll do is run 10 laps around Uzumaki jogging with 10 kg weights, then you'll do 100 push-ups, sit-ups, squats, and then you'll train your chakra control, okay? Naruto, he wants to kill me. Kurama, did I say understood? Naruto, yes. Naruto began by jogging 10 laps around the entire village of Uzu, which took about 2 hours because of the weights he was carrying. Then he started doing 100 sit-ups, push-ups, and squats, which took about 20 minutes so he could finish a little tired, but Kurama had told him that he would get used to it. Then he began training his chakra control, which lasted more than 5 hours so he could control only half of his chakra. Naruto, I only managed to control half of my chakra. Seriously? Kurama, if you now grabbed one of the large pieces of rubble, you'll have to do another 100 squats with the rubble on your back. Naruto's yep, Kurama wants to kill me. Naruto grabbed one of the pieces of rubble as Kurama had told him and started doing 100 squats again until he was exhausted since the piece of rubble weighed 20 kg. Kurama let him rest for a while. Naruto, hey Kurama, can I ask you a question? Kurama, and what is that question? Naruto, well, I wanted to know if there are more tailed beasts like you. Kurama, if there are more since they are my brothers and sisters, there's the one with 1 tail, the one with 2, the one with 3, and so on until we get to where I am. Why the question? Naruto, curious, will they grow more tails when they get older? Kurama, we don't keep the number of tails we always had. For example, I've had 9 tails since I was a puppy and I still have them. Naruto, so you were small as a puppy or were you still the same height you are now? Kurama, actually I was shorter than I am now. Well, I'm a little taller, but your father sealed half of me inside his body, that's why I'm a little shorter than I used to be. Naruto, I understand. Kurama, but if my other half awakens, it might come back to me, but if that doesn't happen, I'll stay like this. Naruto, and if I use the Rinnegan to bring my father back and awaken your other half, will you become taller? Kurama, it seems you read a bit of the scroll, but I don't know if the Shinigami took your father's soul, so I don't know if you can bring him back. Naruto, don't worry, I read a little more and it says that if I have the Rinnegan I can bring back the dead even if the Shinigami took them. Kurama, well then, keep training so you can awaken well if you can awaken the Rinnegan, since as far as I know, not many people can awaken it. Naruto, then we'll have to see if I can wake him up, hee. After saying that, Naruto went back to training his chakra control, creating over 100 clones to speed things up. After spending more than 2 hours trying to control the other half of his chakra, which he couldn't manage because it was quite difficult, night fell. They went to sleep, but before they did, Kurama had gone to find food for them. After about 40 minutes, Kurama finally returned with the food, so they began to eat while discussing how they would train the next day. Naruto, so I'm going to have to keep doing all those things like today. Kurama, yes, but once you've mastered controlling your chakra, we'll begin the next, more challenging training. Naruto, I understand, so what am I going to have to do? Kurama, climbing a tree using only your feet. Naruto, but that's impossible. Kurama, let me finish, kid. As I was saying, you'll climb a tree using only your feet, but it's not impossible since you'll put a little chakra into your feet to be able to climb. But you shouldn't put too much because when you try to put your foot on the tree it will break, and if you put too little you'll fall, so you must put only the essentials. Naruto, okay, anything else? Kurama, when you've finished learning to climb the tree you'll walk on water. Since we're on an island with water, we'll only go to the shore. But you'll need to use a little more chakra to walk, as water is more difficult than climbing the tree. Naruto, well, so that's all. Kurama, not only that, you'll also study the history of all the ninja villages, about the clans, clan laws, and learn Fuinjutsu and Jutsu according to your affinity, but I'll explain that to you tomorrow. What? Naruto, yeah, well then, I'd better go to sleep early if I want to wake up early to train, so I'm going to sleep. Good night, Kurama. Kurama's good night. Naruto went to his sleeping bag while Kurama disappeared to return to Naruto's mindscape, and he fell asleep as soon as he lay down since he was very tired after training very hard. Kurama, rest, kid, because tomorrow will be a very hard day. Chapter 5. The narrator narrates. The sun hadn't risen yet, but Naruto was already awake having breakfast accompanied by Kurama, who was looking at some trees that had grown a long time ago since no one lived in this village, so it had become full of plants and many other things. Naruto, I finished breakfast, what should I do first? Kurama, what you're going to do is make 30 clones of yourself. Then divide them into 5 groups while you, the original, train in your endurance and strength. Naruto, okay, but one more thing before we start. Kurama, and what is it? Naruto, last night you told me about knowing my affinity. What do you mean? Kurama. That's right, I said that. Well, Naruto, what I mean is that you have an affinity depending on your nature, and that can be determined by a piece of paper. Besides, I found some while you were training, so here you go. Kurama gave Naruto one of the papers he had, but since the redhead didn't know what to do with it, he stared at Kurama questioningly, so Kurama had to explain what he had to do with the paper. Kurama, Gaki, what you need to do is put a little of your chakra on the paper. Naruto, now I know what I have to do. Naruto put some chakra into the paper, then cut it into 4 parts. One part crumpled, another got wet, a third burned, and the last turned to dust, which then fell to the ground. When Naruto looked at Kurama, his eyes were wide open because of what he saw, since no one could possess all 5 natures. Naruto, Kurama, are you okay? Kurama, yes, although it seems I'll have to teach you all the chakra natures. Naruto, I understand now what you mean. It's about the natures we use to perform jutsus like fire, lightning, wind, water, and earth, right? Kurama, exactly, Gaki. After explaining that, Naruto created the 30 clones Kurama had told him to, but then he had to make another one to train his chakra control again. Then the original Naruto started his training from yesterday, which was 10 laps jogging around the entire village with weights on his wrists and ankles. It lasted about 2 hours since he wasn't used to running with weights yet. Then he started doing 100 push-ups, sit-ups, and squats, which lasted 20 minutes. Meanwhile, the other clones in groups of 5 were doing different things. One group was studying the history of the villages, the second group was studying the clans, the third group was studying clan laws, the fourth group was training to climb trees by channeling chakra into their feet, the fifth group was studying Fuinjutsu sealing techniques, and the sixth group was training with basic jutsu of all natures. Meanwhile, 6 clones of Kurama were in each group teaching, and the last clone was training his chakra control alone. After doing all that, Naruto grabbed one of the heavy pieces of rubble. He had to lift 20 kg to do 100 squats again with the rubble on his back. When he finished, Kurama told him to rest but to lie down in a comfortable place because when he dispelled the clones he was going to faint, but he would also have a headache. So Naruto lay down under a tree and dispelled the clones, causing all his memories to come flooding back. In addition to the headache Kurama had told him about, he also fainted for about 20 minutes. When he woke up, he saw Kurama looking at the blue sky. Naruto, how long was I unconscious? Kurama, for 20 minutes only. Naruto, okay, so what am I going to do now? Kurama, you will make the 30 clones again to continue studying and training while you practice your calligraphy. Naruto, I understand now. When I learn to write properly, that will help me make the hand seals when I'm ready, right? Kurama, yes, you finally said something intelligent, kid. Naruto, well, at some point I'll have to get used to my new attitude, right? Kurama, yes, anyway, you must learn to write well so you can properly make the seals you write. Naruto said nothing, he simply created the 30 clones as Kurama instructed. One clone went to train his chakra control again, while the original Naruto stayed with the original Kurama. Kurama's other clones went to train the other groups of clones, some to train, others to study, and Naruto to learn to write properly. After an hour, the redhead finally learned to write better. His handwriting was perfect. So he decided to take the clone that was training chakra control and do it himself until he could finally control all his chakra. It was already night, so he went to Kurama, who had already prepared the food, and they began to eat peacefully. When they finished, Naruto went to lie down in his sleeping bag while Kurama disappeared, returning to Naruto's mindscape. However, after dispelling all the clones, the redhead fainted again with a headache from the memories of the clones, becoming so exhausted that he fell into a deep sleep. Chapter 6. The narrator narrates. Naruto was already awake and training like yesterday, but this time he was learning how to walk on water since he had already done the other resistance and strength exercises. But Kurama told him that now they would train with the original Naruto on how to control Naruto's sensory abilities, since all the Uzumaki were sensors, and some clones were already learning to do higher-level jutsus and other fuinjutsu of all kinds. Kurama, are you ready? What? Naruto, yes, I'm ready. Naruto began training his sensory abilities, knowing he possessed Kagura's mind's eye, which allowed him to see up to 30 kilometers away. He could also discern whether someone was lying, but this required focused attention. He also possessed other abilities, but I'll tell you about them later. After completing all of this, Kurama instructed him to increase the weights to 20 kg and repeat the morning's training. Naruto remained silent and increased the weights, this time doing 20 laps instead of 10, and 200 squats, sit-ups, and push-ups instead of 100, as the intensity increased based on the number of days he had been training. After finishing his training, Naruto sat for a while. Naruto, I'm tired of it. Kurama, don't relax too much. Now you have to clean up the village a bit, and when I say the village, I mean the whole thing. Naruto, okay. Kurama, but with the weights. Naruto went to clean the village, removing debris scattered along what should have been the streets. There were also some buildings in good condition, so he went inside to clean them up a bit. Besides dusting the interiors, he started planting some flower and tree seeds that Kurama had given him earlier. Then he went to the Uzumaki tower to clean it as well, since it was in good condition and some things like furniture were intact. After doing all that, he went to where Kurama was, watching all of Naruto's clones train or study until he saw the redhead approaching. Kurama, so are you finished? What? Naruto, yes, I've finished cleaning, removing a lot of debris from the streets and also planting some plants and seeds. Kurama, well done, kid, but now you'll have to do some more training. Naruto, which one? Kurama, you will need to use your chakra to climb the tree again and do 200 squats. Naruto, okay. Naruto got up and walked over to a tree, then climbed it, hanging from a branch by his feet. He started doing squats, though it was a bit difficult. After doing 100, Kurama told him he was going to throw kunai and shuriken at him and he had to dodge them. So they started, though sometimes Naruto fell because he couldn't concentrate his chakra since he also had to dodge. But then he started to master it, so he climbed down from the tree. Naruto, well, it took me a long time, but I did it. Kurama, that's right, but now I'll train your concentration. Naruto, so I'll have to meditate to achieve that, right? Kurama. If in addition your mind will be so strong that you'll be able to tell if you're in a genjutsu and break free from it, that will also benefit you since you'll be able to awaken your Kekkei Genka, or maybe one or two. Naruto, okay. Naruto sat on the ground in the lotus position and began concentrating chakra throughout his body, until suddenly Kurama had an idea and decided to attack him to see if he could awaken the adamantine chains. So he made some hand seals and then launched the attack, which went straight to Naruto, who couldn't react in time. Kurama thought he had hurt him and that he didn't have the adamantine chains, but when the smoke cleared, he found Naruto with the chains protecting him. Naruto, do you want to kill me? Kurama, not to kill you, but I wanted to awaken one of your Kekkei Genka and look, those are the adamantine chains. Naruto, so these are although they're black and gold. Kurama, perhaps your chains are that color. Naruto, yes, now I just need to learn how to summon them at will, and if I'm not mistaken from what I've read, these chains can absorb my opponent's chakra and also protect me from any jutsu, right? Kurama, if that seems so. Naruto, will I get another Kekkei Genkas? Kurama, I don't know, you should discover that for yourself, but there's one you shouldn't use or you will die. Naruto, yes, I know. Naruto and Kurama left Uzumaki for a while to see if anyone had low chakra reserves and to check if they possessed the other Kekkei Genka. They found two ninjas fighting until one died, so they approached one of them and asked him to move Naruto's arm. The ninja, somewhat hesitated for a moment, but since he was so weak, he finally did it. When Naruto bit him, he was surprised to find his chakra reserves returned to normal. The ninja thanked them and then left. Afterward, Kurama and Naruto returned to Uzumaki. When they arrived, Kurama told Naruto that he now had to train how to draw the adamantine chains, and they began training again until night fell. They started eating, and Naruto, feeling a bit tired, went to bed while Kurama disappeared. Then the redhead dispelled the clones, only to get a headache and faint again. Chapter 7. The narrator narrates. A month had passed since they arrived in Uzumaki to train, and Naruto was already progressing very well. He had grown a bit taller, reaching 157 meters, and his body was more muscular. At 12 years old, he was almost a master of Fuinjutsu at level 9, nearly reaching level 10. He also possessed some higher-level jutsu, and his stamina was excellent. In addition to practicing with the sword he had been given, he had also learned how to summon, thanks to Kurama, who had also given him the summoning scroll for the foxes. Kurama was the second leader of the foxes, as the first leader and king was Kurama. This one was called Shiro the White Fox, who is very powerful among all the summons. Then there was the Uzumaki summon, which was this. The most powerful phoenix, and also a powerful being like the fox summoning. Besides there being phoenixes of different colors just like the foxes, her name was Akemi Naruto. She also learned to walk on water. It took her a while, but she was able to achieve it, in addition to training the fox sage mode where her eyes changed to this. Imagine they're Naruto's eyes, not the eyes of an animal, which is a fox. They also allow him to transform into a real one, which would be this one, and he could have Kurama's 9 tails but with blue eyes and red hair. And give this fox blue eyes too. He was training the phoenix's hermit mode, which made him look like that. Ignore the white hair, hee. Besides, he can also transform into a phoenix, which is this one, and can sprout wings, but only if he's in phoenix sage mode. Imagine that's Naruto after training so hard. Naruto awakened the Rinnegan a while ago, though it was very difficult for him to control it, activating and deactivating it. Once he had mastered it, he brought his father from the demon realm. The kid was a little confused and surprised, but after explaining everything, Minato talked with his son and spent time with him. They also brought Kushina along to spend time with her only son. After that, the kid gave him half of the nine-tailed fox and was able to completely remove the seal that had imprisoned Kurama. Before leaving, the kid taught Naruto the Rasengan and the Flying Thunder God technique before returning to the demon realm. After all that, it was time to return to Konoha for the exams, as Naruto had told Hiruzen. So with the things they had given Naruto, they began the journey to Konoha, which would take more than half a day since Naruto was faster than before. They were running at full speed but decided to walk calmly. As they walked, Naruto had bought more clothes. When they arrived at a village, a lot of women looked at Naruto lustfully and the men looked at him with great jealousy, but the redhead didn't pay any attention. Naruto had matured in recent days besides being very clever, and he already had battle experience since Kurama made him fight some rogue ninjas. But well, after walking for hours, they finally arrived in Konoha. It was a somewhat long journey, but in the end they arrived. Halfway through the journey, they started running very fast. Then Kurama transformed into a small fox and went into Naruto's hood so as not to arouse suspicion. Then, when Naruto saw those who supposedly guarded the entrance to the village asleep, he shook his head and continued on his way to see Hiruzen. As they walked, there were people who looked at him curiously since they didn't know that this was Naruto. They remembered a short boy with blonde hair, sky-blue eyes, and tan skin who was also assertive. But well, when Naruto arrived at the Tower of the Hokage, told the secretary that he wanted to speak with the third Hokage, to which she replied that he had to wait to be called. After waiting 10 minutes, Naruto was able to enter as Hiruzen called him. Hiruzen, good afternoon, what can I do for you in our village? Naruto, Hiruzen, seriously, I've changed so much that you don't remember me. Upon hearing that, Hiruzen was surprised because the only one who called him that was Naruto, so he looked up and the boy he saw really confused him a little. Hiruzen, Naruto, is that really you? Naruto, of course only I changed because I released my Uzumaki blood. Hiruzen, so it is you, and when did you arrive? Naruto, I arrived just today. Hiruzen, that's strange, why didn't they warn me about anything? Naruto, maybe because they're sleeping instead of doing their job. Hiruzen, oh, I'll have to talk to them later, But anyway, what have you been doing all this time? Naruto began telling Hiruzen everything he had done on his training trip, which greatly surprised him. Well, that is, except for some things Naruto didn't mention, like his parents, Kurama being the Ninetales, and other things. Then Hiruzen told him that the exams would start tomorrow, so Naruto had to be there to become a genin. Although he had to go home to rest, the first thing he did upon arriving was clean a bit. Then he started cooking something light since Kurama wouldn't let him eat ramen. After eating, he took a 15-minute bath. After getting out of the bath, he changed and went to bed, not caring that his hair was wet. By the way, Naruto will have the same hairstyle as his father, only a little shorter, that's all. Chapter 8. The narrator narrates. Naruto was having breakfast, having gotten used to waking up early well before sunrise so he could train. The redhead left his apartment and started jogging around the village doing 30 laps. Then he did 40 sit-ups, squats, and push-ups. After finishing all that, he rushed back to his apartment for a quick shower and breakfast. He was about to leave when Kurama appeared on his shoulder in the form of a small fox. Kurama, I'm going with you, kid. Naruto, are you sure, Kurama? Your 9 tails aren't exactly normal, are they? Kurama, don't worry, I can make sure it only happens once. Kurama had made his 8 tails disappear, leaving only one, which Naruto readily accepted. He then left his apartment and walked through the streets of Konoha. It was early, so he wasn't in any hurry. When he arrived, he entered the academy and walked down the hallways until he reached his classroom door. He knocked, and a dark-skinned ninja with a brown pineapple hairstyle and a scar on his nose opened the door. Who are you? Naruto simply handed over the paper the Hokage had given him to allow entry without any problems, stating that he had gone on a training trip. The ninja, who would be his sensei, simply nodded, letting Naruto in. He was hooded with Kurama inside the hood. To have class. Nobody was paying attention to the sensei, so he was already getting a vein popping out on his head anime style. Hey class, shut up. Everyone fell silent to pay attention to their sensei, but then their attention shifted to Naruto, who was watching them with a slightly amused expression. He will be your new partner, so I want you to be good to him. One of the girls with pink hair had raised her hand, so the sensei let her speak. What's wrong, Sakura? Sakura, I don't mean to be mean, but he couldn't enter since he wasn't with us, so it wouldn't be fair that after we studied and trained at the academy, some kid who didn't do anything shows up. Don't worry, Sakura, he went on a training trip so he must be well trained. Please introduce yourself. Naruto, my name is Naruto Uzumaki, nice to meet you, I hope we all get along. Uruka, well Naruto, I'm Uruka Umino and I'll be your sensei until you graduate. Naruto, yes Urunya sensei. Naruto went to sit in a free spot where a boy with black glasses was playing with insects. Naruto, hello, hello. Naruto, what's your name? Shino, I'm Shino Aburame. Naruto, so you're an Aburame. Your clan specializes in insects, right? Shino, yes, why Naruto, nothing, I just think insects are cool, that's all. Shino thanks the others are disgusted by them. Naruto, well, not me, he's. Shino, what do you have in your hood that moves so much? Naruto, it's just Kurama. Then Kurama's head emerged from the hood and looked around the classroom. Naruto and Shino were paying attention in class just in case Urunya scolded them. After a boring class, it was time for recess, so Naruto went to the courtyard to sit under a tree with a swing next to Shino. Shino, so it's like a pet. Naruto, he's not my partner or my friend. Shino, you're like the Inuzuka because you call them partner and friend. Naruto, yeah, hee. Naruto and Shino were talking animatedly until the bell rang, signaling the end of recess. So they went to the classroom where Uruka was. Uruka, okay guys, today, as you know, is the exam to graduate to Genin, so we'll be calling you up, okay? Everyone, yes. Urunya started calling them one by one until she got to Naruto. Uruka, Naruto, Uzumaki comes. Naruto got up from his seat and then entered the room where the exam would take place. Uruka, well Naruto, you need to create a clone of yourself to pass the first exam. Naruto, there's a problems. Uruka, which one? Naruto, since I have a lot of chakra, I won't be able to make a clone like everyone else, but can I use another cloning jutsu? Uruka, of course. Naruto made a cross with his fingers and then said these words. Naruto Kage Bunshin no Jutsu. When Naruto said that, a lot of smoke appeared, but when it dissipated, 10 Narutos were revealed, which left Uruka very impressed. Uruka, those aren't illusions, they're solid clones, that's a very advanced jutsu that leaves you almost without chakra. Naruto, don't worry Uruka-sensei, being in Uzumaki, I have chakra reserves that don't run out easily. Then Uruka presented Naruto with the ninja headband signifying his graduation from the academy, and he left the room to see Shino, who had also graduated. Shino, so you got through. Naruto, yes, can you put it on my shoulder? Shino, sure, but don't your parents come to put your ninja headband on you like they do for everyone else? Naruto, I don't really have parents. I never knew them and I don't even know who they are. Upon hearing that, Shino was shocked and regretted asking. Many of those nearby had heard it and felt a little bad deep down. Shino, I'm so sorry. Naruto, it doesn't really matter, I'm over it now, hee. After chatting briefly with Shino, Choji, and Shikamaru, who had become friends instantly, Naruto had to walk back to his apartment. As he walked, he talked to Kurama about anything and everything while the women looked at him with intrigue. But Naruto didn't care. When he arrived at his apartment, he went inside, ate, and then went to sleep. Chapter 9. The narrator narrates. Naruto was getting ready to go to the academy since they were going to announce the groups he'd be in, so he walked off calmly while Kurama slept on his head. This time Naruto wasn't wearing his hood, so the women looked at him lustfully. His well-built body made Naruto feel violated by their stares and uncomfortable, since he was never looked at that way before. But that was because they didn't recognize him. After walking, oh, by the way, Naruto is dressed like this, I forgot to mention that face with tears of joy. When Naruto arrived at the classroom, many people stared at him, especially the girls who looked in love with him. The boys were jealous except for his friends and Sasuke. Naruto, hey guys. Shino, hello Naruto. Shikamaru, hello Naruto, I didn't know you were hiding that body under that jacket. Naruto, hee well, I trained really hard to get this body. Choji, yum note yums. Make it sound like when you chew food. After waiting a while, Uruka came to give his speech that nobody cares about XD, poor Uruka, hee. But anyway, getting back to Naruto, you all know the groups, so let's move on to the Naruto one. Uruka, Team 7, Naruto, Uzumaki, Sakura, Haruna. Sakura, what? Uruka, Sakura, could you please be quiet? Sakura, yes, Uruka-sensei. Uruka, as I was saying, Naruto, Uzumaki, Sakura, Haruna, and Sasuke Uchiha. Sakura, yes, Uruka, Sakura, next time I'll kick you out of the room. Sakura, yes, sorry. After that, the sensei from all the groups passed by except for the one from Team 7 who was the only one there. Sakura, when is he going to arrive? Sakura kept asking herself the same question over and over while Naruto was meditating. Seeing this, Sakura thought Naruto was asleep, so she decided to wake him up. Sakura, Naruto Baka, stop sleeping. Naruto, I wasn't asleep, I was meditating, something you wouldn't understand. Sakura, shut up, you were probably asleep. After that, they waited a few more hours, and their sensei still hadn't come. Sakura, I'm tired of waiting. Naruto, he's coming. Sasuke, what? When Naruto said that, he stood up from his seat, and just then the door opened, revealing a man with silver hair. His ninja headband covered his left eye, the fabric of his shirt covered his mouth, and he also wore a green Jouni vest. Go to the roof. When he said that, he disappeared in a hushy, so the three of them walked to the rooftop. As soon as they sat down, the man spoke. Are you going to introduce yourselves and say what you like, dislike, hobbies, and dreams? Okay, Sakura, why don't you start? Kakashi, me. Well, my name is Kakashi Headache. What I like, I don't know. What I dislike, I don't have anything. Hobbies, might have many, and my dreams, I've never thought about them. Sakura, she only told us her name. Kakashi, now you, the one with pink hair. Sakura, I'm Sakura Haruno. What I like is looking at Sasuke. Oh, my hobby is looking at Sasuke. My dreams are looking at Sasuke. Kakashi, and what do you dislike? Sakura, Naruto. Naruto didn't pay attention to what he was saying since he was talking to Kurama telepathically until he heard Kakashi call him. Kakashi, well, you redheads. Naruto, I'm Naruto Uzumaki. What I like is training, learning more about Fuinjutsu. What I dislike is people who judge others unfairly without knowing anything about them, perverts, and those who are driven by selfishness and revenge. My hobbies are training, learning more about Fuinjutsu, pushing my limits, and anything related to training, and my dreams are to restore my clan, find those who survived the Uzumaki massacre, and be the leader of my clan like my mother and grandfather. Sakura, Naruto, stop lying. There never was a clan called Uzumaki in this village. Naruto, you don't know this, but my clan actually lived in Uzumaki, where the feudal lord of that village, who would be my grandfather, resided. Furthermore, my mother was the daughter of that feudal lord, making her the princess of the Uzumaki clan, and as her son, I am the heir to the entire clan. Additionally, my clan was in an alliance with Konoha. Kakashi, it's true, the Uzumaki clan. It's been a while since we've heard about that clan. It's a shame they were massacred and the village was completely destroyed. They were a very feared clan, but anyway, back to the matter at hand. Next up. Sasuke, my name is Sasuke Uchiha. I don't particularly like anything, and I dislike many things. I don't have any hobbies, just training and getting stronger. What I have isn't a dream because it will come true. I'm going to restore my clan and destroy someone in particular. Kakashi. Great, a fangirl who's only interested in one boy, an emo avenger who has a fangirl in this group, and well, the other one is Naruto. I heard the third Hokage talking about him. He's really changed a lot and is very mature for his age. Besides, you can tell he's trained really hard these last few months since leaving Konoha to train. Well, I'll see you tomorrow first thing. Don't be late and don't eat breakfast if you don't want to throw up. Bye. After that, the three went their separate ways. When Naruto arrived at his apartment, he cooked something to eat with Kurama. After they finished, they began to eat, and then Naruto went to sleep in his bed to rest so that he would be at 100% the next day. Chapter 10. The narrator narrates. Naruto was already eating breakfast, as calm as could be, since he didn't really care about what Kakashi-sensei had said. Besides, he'd have to be crazy to skip breakfast, which was one of the most important meals of the day. When he finished breakfast, he went to brush his teeth and changed his clothes. Then he left his house walking very calmly with Kurama on his head, but one of the Naruto clones he had left studying Fuinjutsu, as the little fox had told him, gave him some food since they knew Kakashi-sensei would be late. After walking a little, he arrived at the place where they had to take Kakashi's test, where Sakura was a little sleepy watching Sasuke, who was looking at the morning sky. Naruto, good morning. Sakura, you're late. Narutos, you idiot. Naruto, but I don't see Kakashi-sensei, so I can't be late when our sensei isn't here. Sasuke, good morning. Naruto simply sat in the shade of the tree, a little way away from Sakura and a little closer to Sasuke, but not too close, while he meditated. After spending an hour waiting for his sensei, Naruto decided to eat something, although when he saw his food he realized it was too much for one person. Naruto, do you want to eat? I brought a lot of food just for myself. Sasuke thought about it for a moment until he made up his mind, but just as he was about to speak, Sakura spoke first. Cough, shouting cough. Sakura, Naruto baka we can't eat. Sasuke, okay, I do want to. Sasuke approached Naruto because he was hungry, while Sakura was debating whether or not to eat. Since Sasuke was already eating and his stomach was growling, she ended up eating with them. A few hours later, Kakashi arrived at the scene looking very calm. Kakashi, hello. Sakura, no hello Kakashi-sensei, you're late. Kakashi, I'm sorry I got lost on the path of life, but anyway, today we'll begin with the test. Sakura, and what will the test be about? Kakashi, survival. Sakura, it's not that I disagree, Kakashi-sensei, but we already did that test well except for Naruto. Naruto, actually I was in survival training too, so that could count as proof. Kakashi, either way this test will determine whether they pass or have to go back to the academy to do everything they did again. Naruto, that means if we pass, we'll be an official team. Kakashi, that's right, the test is as follows. You will have to take these bells from me. You have until noon, but when time runs out and none of you have a bell, you will fail. Sakura, but Kakashi-sensei, you only have 2 bells and there are 3 of us. Kakashi, I see you're observant, but if I only have 2 bells, what I mean is if 2 of them take one, the other will have to go to the academy, understood? Sakura/Sasuke/Naruto, yes, Kakashi, alright then begin. After saying that, Sasuke, Sakura, and Naruto disappeared. Now our redhead was behind a tree branch watching Kakashi. Naruto, according to what my father told me, this test involves teamwork, right? Kurama. Kurama, Sigak. Naruto, then I should go tell the others, but I need a distraction shadow clone jutsu. From there came two Narutos, one went to attack Kakashi while the other went to tell Sakura, and the original Naruto went to tell Sasuke that he had found him on a tree branch. Naruto, hey Sasuke. Sasuke, Naruto, but weren't you fighting Kakashi-sense? Naruto, relax, it's just a clone. I already know what this test is about besides survival. Sasuke, and what does it consist of? Naruto, in teamwork. Look, if you think about it for a moment, we couldn't defeat Kakashi-sensei alone since he's a jounin. Sasuke, well, you're right about that, so what's the plan? Naruto, we have to wait for Sakura to come. Sasuke and Naruto waited a while for Sakura, but she never came. Naruto then felt his clone send him all the information. Naruto, Sakura doesn't want to work as a team. Sasuke, and how do you know that? Naruto, because of my clones, when they disappear they send me the information. These clones are used for espionage. Sasuke, I understand, so what do we do? Naruto, well, I already had a plan in case one of you didn't want to work as a team, so this is the plan. While Naruto was explaining the plan to Sasuke, the other clone who was fighting Kakashi was creating more clones to think with him and thus discover all his weaknesses, which only amounted to one. Kakashi was very confident that they couldn't do it. Once Sasuke and Naruto had the plan ready, the original redhead appeared and destroyed all the clones. Kakashi, are you tired already? Naruto, actually no, I was just gathering information from my clones' fight against you. Kakashi, oh, and what information did you have? Naruto, you've gotten cocky now, Sasuke. Suddenly Sasuke launched a fire jutsu at Kakashi, which he barely dodged. Then in a swift movement, Naruto kicked him, sending him flying into a tree. But before Kakashi could touch the tree, a Naruto clone who was waiting for him kicked him from behind, sending him flying in the direction of Sasuke, who punched him in the face. But then Kakashi disappeared. Kakashi, I got too confident with them. I need to be very careful. I think they both understood what the test is about, but where is Sakura? Kakashi was looking around for Sakura, thinking it might be another plan, but then he found her looking for someone who was surely Sasuke, so he decided to approach her. Sakura, where is Sasuke? Did Kakashi do something to him? Kakashi, hello. Sakura, Kakashi's eardrums ruptured when he heard that scream, so he moved away from Sakura and then put her under a genjutsu, while with Sasuke and Naruto. Sasuke, Kakashi found Sakura. Naruto, yeah, you can tell by the scream he let out. Then they heard another scream from Sakura, so they had to go to her, but when they found her they saw she was thin but without a scratch. Sasuke, what happened to him? Chapter 11. The narrator narrates. Sasuke, but what happened to him? Naruto, this must be Kakashi-sensei's doing. If it's a genjutsu Sakura fell into, but what genjutsu made her faint? Sasuke, our sensei is undoubtedly strong enough to put Sakura in a genjutsu from which she can easily escape. Naruto, it's weird, but oh well, it must be a really strong genjutsu. Flashback. Sakura was looking around in case Kakashi-sensei tried to scare her again, but then a bunch of leaves surrounded her, sealing it as a genjutsu, but she didn't realize it. When she looked in a specific place, she found Sasuke with many kunai embedded all over his body. Sakura, Sasuke. Illusion, Sakura, help me please. Sakura, Aya. Then Sakura fainted while outside the illusion. Kakashi was watching her with great disappointment. Kakashi, and she's supposed to be the best at breaking out of low-level genjutsu. End of flashback. Sasuke, what do we do now? We could leave her lying there or take care of her until she wakes up, although that would be best, but we'd also be wasting time waiting for her to wake up. Naruto, you're right, it's best if I leave a clone of myself to look after her while we go find Kakashi-sensei. Sasuke, I agree. Then Naruto created a shadow clone and stood next to Sakura, after which the two went to find Kakashi, who was back in the same place where they had started the test. Kakashi, I think I went overboard with the genjutsu. But then Kakashi felt something whizzing past his face and it was Sasuke's kunai acting as a distraction. Kakashi, I think you need to practice your kunai throwing more, Sasuke. But Kakashi saw Sasuke smirk as he looked again at the kunai, which transformed into Naruto. Naruto then created more than 10 clones that attacked him, while Sasuke and the original Naruto removed the two bells, after which Naruto dispelled the clones. Kakashi, what's wrong? Naruto, what happened is that we took away the bells. Kakashi-sensei, right? Sasuke. Sasuke, yes. Kakashi, very good, I'm really impressed. You two passed, but where's Sakura? Naruto, I left one of my clones watching over her, but it seems she's already woken up and left. I think she's coming this way. Kakashi, ok. Then Sakura appears, a little angry but also disappointed because she wanted Sasuke to be there when she woke up, not Naruto. But when she saw the three boys, she was confused to see the redhead with them and also to see the bells in Sasuke and Naruto's hands. Sakura, what happened? Naruto, weren't you with me? Naruto, actually you weren't always with one of my clones while Sasuke and I were fighting Kakashi-sensei. Kakashi, yes, and I'm proud of you guys. You knew the test was about teamwork, but you, Sakura, didn't, so I'm a little disappointed in you. Sakura just lowered her head, but then she heard someone approaching her. It was Naruto. Naruto, take my bell, I can be back at the academy. Sakura, what? No, Naruto, I'm the one who should be at the academy. I don't deserve to be on his team. Kakashi, haha guys, you all passed because you were thinking of each other, so tomorrow we'll have our first mission as Team 7. Now go get some rest. Goodbye. Then Kakashi left in a sushi, so the three of them went home as well. When Naruto arrived at his apartment, he started studying Fuinjutsu with his clone, who was still studying while Kurama slept. After spending almost an hour studying, Naruto got hungry, so he went to the kitchen, but he realized he had to buy something since he didn't have anything else. Naruto, hey Kurama, I'm going shopping, are you coming? Kurama, no, I'd better stay and sleep a little longer. Naruto, okay, but do you want something? Kurama's meat. Afterwards, Naruto went to a store to buy something, but when he entered, he realized that everyone already knew who he was, so they kicked him out of the store. He had no choice but to use a disguise to appear as someone else so he could enter the store. Salesperson, hello, what do you need? Naruto's Enje, I want some meat in this. After Naruto paid, he went to his apartment where Kurama was waiting for him in his human form. Kurama, and how did it go? What? Naruto, well, it seems they already know who I am, so they wouldn't let me into the store. I had to use a device to buy something. Kurama, why am I not surprised? They were going to find out sooner or later anyway. Naruto, yeah, I'll make the food anyway. Naruto started making food for himself and Kurama. When it was ready, they began to eat peacefully until they finished. Then Naruto washed the dishes before going to bed and lying down to sleep while Kurama disappeared. Chapter 12. The narrator narrates. The sun was already rising, and Naruto was having breakfast after bathing following a long training session with Kurama. When he finished breakfast, he went to brush his teeth. By the way, Naruto was dressed like this. Then I left his apartment, although some looked at him with hatred, some women looked at him with lust, but Naruto didn't pay them any attention, although he did feel a little violated by the women's stares. But anyway, when Naruto arrived at the Hokage Tower where Sasuke and Sakura were waiting for him, one of them was missing, and that was Kakashi. Naruto, hello, has Kakashi arrived yet? Sasuke, no, but it doesn't matter, he'll probably be late anyway. Naruto, yes. While they were waiting for Kakashi, one of the children who were playing accidentally approached Naruto and pushed him. Child, I'm sorry. Naruto, don't worry. At that moment, Kurama arrived and positioned himself on top of Naruto's head, which the boy noticed. Child, how beautiful. Naruto, his name is Kurama. Kimio Kurama. Hello Kurama, I'm Kimio hihi. Naruto crouched down a little so Nimio could touch Kurama. Sasuke and Sakura smiled at how Naruto was with children, but just as the boy was happily touching Kurama, his mother came in. Kimio's mother, son, stay away from him. Kimio, but why? Kimio's mother, just get away, you see he could kill you. Upon hearing that, the boy moved away from Naruto and the boy's mother gave Naruto a slap, but he didn't say or do anything. Sakura and Sasuke weren't going to allow that, so they were about to say something to the woman when Naruto signaled them to keep quiet. When the woman left with Kimio, Sakura approached Naruto. Sakura, why did you let her hit you and insult you? Naruto, because I'm used to them doing that, that's why I went on a training trip to be away from this village for a few months. Sasuke, so that always happens to you. Naruto, they even took me out of the orphanage when I was 3 years old because they were afraid of me or simply hated me. Sakura, how horrible, but why were they afraid of you or did they hate you? Naruto, I'm sorry, but I can't say. It's a matter for this village and the council, so I don't know the reason. Sasuke, I understand, why is this a matter for the village council, and why can't he say it? Those were Sasuke's thoughts. After waiting a while longer in silence, Kakashi arrived with the simple excuse that he had encountered a black cat on his way here and had to take the long way, Kakashi's typical excuses. Without further ado, they entered the Hokage Tower to find out what mission they were assigned. When they entered one of the rooms, they found Uruka, Hiruzen, and another man whose identity is irrelevant, Kakashi, Lord Hokage, we've come to find a mission. Hiruzen, I understand your mission will be to find Tora, the cat belonging to the wife of the feudal lord of Tierra del Fuego, who has escaped. Kakashi, alright, let's go team. Sakura, Sasuke, and Naruto were disappointed with the mission they'd been assigned, but they couldn't say anything about it since it was a mission, even though they went to look for that darn cat that was always causing trouble. Anyway, after searching the whole village for the damn cat, they found themselves. Sasuke hidden in a tree looking at something, Sakura in some bushes looking in the same direction as Sasuke, and Naruto also in a tree, while Kakashi was somewhere else entirely, who knows where. Kakashi, and did they find him? Sasuke, if the target is at 10 o'clock. Sakura, I say the same. Naruto, I'm 10 steps ahead of the target. Kakashi, alright Naruto, since you're the closest, you'll catch him, okay. It's Naruto, good. Kakashi had just shouted, so Naruto rushed towards the cat, which, unable to do anything, was caught despite struggling. Naruto calmed it down with Kurama, and so Team 7 returned to the Hokage Tower where Hiruzen was waiting for them. Kakashi, Lord Hokage, we've finished the mission. Hiruzen, very well, we've already paid you. Naruto, can you give the cat back to its owner? Naruto, yes. Naruto gave the cat to the woman, and then the cat was crushed by its owner's arms, after which she left. Hiruzen, well, we have other missions such as babysitting, helping the farmer with the harvest. Naruto, wait dude, but that's kind of boring. Uruka Naruto, show more respect to the Lord Hokage. Sakura, yes Naruto. Hiruzen, don't worry, you too. I'm used to Naruto calling me old and other things since he was a kid. Sakura, did the Hokage and Naruto know each other before? After that, Hiruzen brought in a man who was very drunk as he was staggering all over the place. His clothes were a little worn, he had a straw hat, and in his hand he had a bottle of sake. Are those brats going to escort me? Kakashi, don't worry, sir. Tazuna, I am Tazuna. Kakashi, Mr. Tazuna, they are qualified to escort you, and I, a Jounin, will also be there. Tazuna, agreed. Kakashi, alright team, we'll meet at the village gates later, so go get your things ready now. Sakura/Sasuke/Naruto, there. Then the three of them left through the door while Kakashi departed in a leaf shuriken. Naruto went to his apartment to pack the things he would need for his trip, then left his apartment with Kurama on his head. After walking for a while, he arrived at the village gates where Tazuna, Sakura, and Sasuke were waiting for him, but Kakashi hadn't arrived yet, so they waited half an hour until he finally showed up. Kakashi, are you ready? Naruto, yes Kakashi-sensei, we're ready. Kakashi, let the journey begin. Chapter 13. The narrator narrates. We came across Team 7 walking along, seemingly calm. Well, perhaps too calm, since Sakura was trying to talk to Sasuke and ask him out, but he was ignoring her. Meanwhile, Naruto was talking to Kakashi about where they were going, as the Hokage had warned them to be careful of thieves. Suddenly, Naruto sensed 2 chakra signatures of Chunin level, I think. He looked at Kakashi, who nodded, and then Naruto got into a fighting stance just in case. Along the way, they spotted 2 puddles of water. Naruto, 2 puddles of water when it hasn't rained. What do you think, Kurama? Should we defeat them in one go or wait to see what they do? Kurama, I would say wait and see what they do. Maybe they were not looking for us but for someone else. Naruto, okay then let's wait. They all passed by the 2 puddles of water, but when they were a little way away they emerged from their hiding place, if you can call it that. Anyway, the 2 ninjas attacked Kakashi, leaving Sakura, Sasuke, and Tazuna in shock. Naruto could sense Kakashi's chakra from somewhere else, so he was the first to attack the ninjas. Sasuke, who had recovered from his shock, followed, while Sakura stayed behind to protect Tazuna, who was terrified to be protecting him. But anyway, back to Naruto, he had kicked one of the ninjas in the stomach, sending him flying 10 meters. Ninja 1, what? Upon seeing Naruto, the ninja began to laugh at his red hair, causing the other ninja who was fighting Sasuke to stop, as well as Sasuke to see what he was laughing about. Ninja 1, but look at this bro, hahaha, it's a living tomato, hahaha. Upon hearing that, Naruto's hair fell slightly in front of his face, obscuring his eyes. Kurama, noticing this, jumped off Naruto's head and stood behind Sasuke, who was completely bewildered. Naruto, what did you say? Naruto's voice was deep but kind and calm, almost frightening. The ninja, not understanding anything, decided to continue making fun of Naruto's hair color, which unfortunately for those who said that ended up dead. Furthermore, Kakashi, seeing the scene, got goosebumps and was sweating profusely. Ninja 1, didn't you hear I found a living tomato? Kakashi appeared behind Sasuke, who had been startled, then grabbed his arm and took him to Tazuna and Sakura. Kurama followed behind them. Sasuke, what's wrong, Kakashi-sensei? Kakashi, make a mental note, never anger in Uzumaki. Sakura, why Kakashi, you'll see. Sakura, Sasuke, and Tazuna looked at Naruto and the ninja with him, but then the redhead appeared behind the ninja and kicked him in the back. He then appeared in front of the ninja and punched him in the stomach. Naruto, you know the worst thing you can say to me is that I'm a tomato because of my hair color, idiot. Naruto kneed the ninja in the stomach, sending him flying 4 meters as he crashed into a tree, breaking it. Naruto then appeared in front of the ninja and punched him in the face. He created a clone of himself and appeared behind the ninja, delivering a kick that sent him flying upwards where the original Naruto was waiting. The original Naruto then delivered a spinning kick that sent the ninja crashing to the ground, landing on top of the exhausted ninja. But Naruto didn't stop there. He grabbed the ninja's foot, lifted him up, and slammed him back to the ground. After repeating this several times, the ninja was left unconscious, but Naruto twisted his ankle. Naruto, now it's your turn. Sakura, Naruto, wait. Kakashi, Sakura, never tell an angry Uzumaki to stop, it's better to let them vent. Sakura simply nodded, but unfortunately for the other ninja who wanted to escape, he couldn't, as Naruto did the same thing he did with the other one, leaving him unconscious. Naruto, that's it now, what do we do with them? Kakashi, well, we could wait for them to wake up, but I don't think so. Naruto, don't worry, Kakashi-sensei, I'll wake them up. Kurama had returned to Naruto's head, and then the redhead took a water bottle from his backpack and threw it at the poor unconscious ninjas who woke up. Ninja 1, please don't hurt us. Ninja 2, if only we knew the bridge builder had such strong ninjas. After that, they left the ninjas chained up to continue their journey, since Naruto didn't want to leave Tazuna alone, even though he had lied to them. After walking a long way, night had fallen, so Kakashi told them to rest. Sakura, I didn't know Naruto was so scary when he gets angry. Sasuke, me neither, but why did Kakashi-sensei say we shouldn't anger an Uzumaki if only Naruto is an Uzumaki? Kakashi, because I knew Naruto's mother and she was indeed strong. We were all afraid of her, we didn't dare call her a tomato because she'd send us all to the hospital, but Naruto held back this time. Sakura, what do you mean he held back? To me that's not holding back at all. Kakashi, well that's because you, Sakura, don't know the anger of an Uzumaki. When they get really angry, they can be quite frightening. Kakashi felt a chill as he remembered Kushina being there at that moment, but well, after everyone arrived, they went to sleep since they had to leave early to finish the trip. So everyone went to sleep, although Kurama settled on Naruto's stomach to sleep, using it as a bed for himself. Chapter 14. The narrator narrates. It was already morning. Team 7, along with Tazuna, were walking until they reached the sea, since Tazuna lived on an island. In one of the bushes, there was a boat with a person waiting for them who would take them. Before boarding, the man told them not to make too much noise, so they got on and began the boat trip, which lasted an hour until they reached the other side. They then continued walking along a dirt path, but halfway along it began to look like fog, though not too thick. Just then a sword appeared, flying straight toward Tazuna. Naruto pushed him aside so the sword wouldn't harm him. Instead, the sword embedded itself in a tree. Then a man about Kakashi's height appeared, with dark skin, bandages on his body, and leg warmers. Kurama, be careful with him, he's very dangerous. Naruto, yes, I know, Kurama. But look who we have here, it's the copy ninja. The ninja who has copied more than 1,000 jutsus, Kakashi Hadake. Kakashi, and you must be Zabuza Momoshiki, a rogue ninja from Kiri, also known as one of the 7 swordsmen, the one who has the Kukurabacho. Zabuza, it's an honor to be recognized by you, Kakashi, but it's a shame I only want Tazuna, so if you give him to me, I'll let you live. Kakashi, and unfortunately I have to tell you that that won't happen. Then Zabuza started creating more fog so that nothing could be seen, but then Naruto removed it with a wind jutsu. Zabuza, damn how I hate wind users, they make the fog I use useless. But Zabuza, upon closer inspection of Naruto, realized that he was with an Uzumaki, since he had read that they no longer existed after the Uzumaki massacre in the village of Uzashigakure, but that no one could enter that village because it was an island with many whirlpools. Zabuza, so and Uzumaki, I thought they didn't exist anymore. Naruto, there are still Uzumakis in this world, they're just hiding. Zabuza, and tell me you're a pureblood, right? Naruto, I am pureblood but also of royal blood. Zabuza was surprised to hear that, because if he sold an Uzumaki, he could earn more money by selling him to another ninja village to be used as a breeding machine. Zabuza, they know he changed his plans, I want the Uzumaki and the bridge builder. Kakashi, what do you want it for? Zabuza, what do you mean, why do I want it? Isn't it obvious? I want it to sell to another ninja village to be used as a breeding machine so I can make more money than by killing a builder. Besides, it's royal blood from an extinct clan, so obviously they'll pay more for it. Kakashi, too bad because he's a Konoha ninja and we won't give it to you. After that, Kakashi and Zabuza began to fight. The fight is like in the original anime. When Kakashi got trapped in the water prison, he told his students to go after Tazuna, but they didn't listen to him, so Naruto was the first to step forward. Zabuza, you're going to turn yourself in. If so, you save me the trouble of having to catch you. Naruto, you're wrong. I'm not going to surrender myself to be sold to a village to be used as a breeding machine. I'm going to defeat you. Zabuza, and what are you going to do? Naruto, you already wax at Kagbunshin no Jutsu. Naruto's clones went to attack the clones Zabuza had created, but some of Naruto's clones were defeated, and the information from those clones reached Naruto, causing him to give a lopsided smile. Zabuza, you won't be able to defeat me, brat. Naruto, I don't want to defeat you, I just don't want to see you fight. Besides, you're getting overconfident and that's what will get you defeated now. Another Naruto clone who was behind the others managed to punch Zabuza's clone in the face, causing it to disappear. So Zabuza created yet another clone. Zabuza, you're clever, brat, but not clever enough to defeat me. Then Naruto came up with a plan. It will be like Naruto's original plan in the anime after defeating Zabuza and having an Anbu take him away. Team 7 resumed their journey until finally they arrived at Tazuna's house but with an unconscious Kakashi. Tazuna, Tsunami, I'm here. Tsunami, Dad, I'm so glad you're safe and sound. Tazuna, tell these people thank you. They were the ones who brought me safely here. Tsunami, thank you so much for taking care of my father. Sakura, no problem, it's our duty as ninjas. Naruto, excuse me, but can I leave our sensei somewhere more comfortable? Tsunami, sure, come with me please. Naruto, yes thank you. Tsunami, you're welcome. After letting Kakashi rest, Naruto helped Tsunami cook while Sasuke and Sakura were looking at the dining room and the photos there when the food arrived, so they sat down. Then a child came in. Tsunami, Inari, son, come, the food is ready. Inari, if. When they started eating, they were talking about when Kakashi was going to wake up so they could train. But then Inari stood up and shouted, Inari, why don't you leave before the cat kills you first and leave us alone? Tsunami, Inari, but then Inari ran off up the stairs. After they finished eating, everyone else went to sleep. Naruto helped Tsunami wash the dishes and then they both went to sleep. Naruto went to the room where Kakashi and Sasuke were, while Tsunami went to her room to rest, since it had been a very long and tiring day for everyone. Chapter 15. The narrator narrates. Naruto had woken up before everyone else, so he got up very slowly to leave the house and train a little, although Kurama was watching him from a rock. After an hour of training, Naruto decided to go to Tazuna's house with Kurama on his head. When he entered, he found Tsunami making breakfast, so he went over to help her. Tsunami, Naruto, you don't need to help me. Naruto, it doesn't matter, I like helping people. After making breakfast, Naruto began to eat since he wanted to go look for some medicinal plants for Kakashi. So when he finished, he went out again, this time venturing deeper into the forest. After being there for about 2 hours, Naruto returned and saw Sasuke and Sakura talking with Tsunami and Tazuna. Sakura, Naruto, where have you been? Why haven't you had breakfast? Tsunami, Sakura-san, Naruto already had breakfast before you, he helped me make the breakfast you're eating now. Then Naruto started making the medicine, and then went to the room where Kakashi was still asleep. Naruto, Kakashi-sensei, you can wake up now, you were just exhausted. Kakashi, good morning, Naruto. Naruto, take some of this medicine so the muscle pain doesn't affect you so much. Kakashi, okay. Kakashi took the medicine. Then Naruto bandaged him well and put a damp cloth on his wound since he had a slight fever. Kakashi, thank you, Naruto, your parents would be proud of you. Oh, sorry, you didn't know them, did you? I'm so sorry, Naruto. Naruto, calm down, Kakashi-sensei, I know who they are. Kakashi, and who are they? Naruto, they were Kushina Uzumaki and Minato Namikaze, the fourth Hokage. Kakashi was wide-eyed because Naruto shouldn't know who his parents were, but when he tried to ask who had told him that, Naruto interrupted him. Naruto, I know you want to ask me who told me since I shouldn't know, but don't worry, I only found out the truth on my training trip. Without saying anything else, Naruto left the room, leaving Kakashi deep in thought but with a serious expression. Then Naruto sat down with the others until Kakashi appeared with 2 crutches. Sakura, Kakashi-sensei shouldn't move yet. Kakashi, I know, but I wanted to talk to you about something. Sakura, and what's it about? Kakashi, it's about Zabuza. Tazuna, what's wrong with him? Naruto, that he is alive. Kakashi, that's right. The Anbu we saw didn't kill him, he just aimed for a point on his neck, but it wasn't a vital point, so he was only going to be dead for a few minutes. Naruto, also that Anbu's chakra seemed to be close to the battle, and I was also nervous about how the chakra was reacting. Sakura, and how do you know that, Naruto? Kakashi, well, I can answer that myself. You see, Naruto is a sensor ninja. One of very few, although being of Uzumaki blood, it wasn't surprising that he was a sensor. Naruto, well, besides being sensors, we Uzumaki have a unique ability that only we possess, and that is Kagura's mind eye. Sasuke, and what does he do? Naruto, it allows you to know if someone is lying or telling the truth, as well as whether someone is your ally or enemy, and also to know what people are feeling based on how their chakra reacts, in addition to having a radius of more than 10 kilometers. Kakashi, yes, so Naruto would be very useful to us with that, but well, I'll have to train you, so come with me. Then Team 7 went to the forest where they stopped at a perfect spot to train. Kakashi, this is fine. Sakura, and what are we going to train? Kakashi, they're going to train chakra control. Sakura, but Kakashi-sensei, we've already been taught that at the academy. Kakashi, yes, I know, but I'm talking about controlling his chakra so he can climb the tree using only his feet. Sakura, but that's impossible. Naruto, I don't know if you can concentrate chakra in your feet, but you have to be careful not to put too much in, because when you put your foot on the tree it will break, and if you put too little you'll fall. Kakashi, that's correct, Naruto. As you'll see, Sakura, what Naruto says is true, so you must concentrate the appropriate chakra to be able to do it. Sakura and Sasuke tried many times, but sometimes they fell. Naruto, having already done it, succeeded on the first. Sasuke, how did you do it on the first try, and why do you make it look so easy? Naruto, answering your first question, it's because I had already done that on my journey. As for your second question, well, it's not so easy because when I tried it the first time, I broke all the trees with my chakra since it's not very easy to control my chakra. Sakura, and why not? Kakashi, because Naruto is in Uzumaki. Sasuke, and what does that have to do with him being in Uzumaki? Naruto, we Uzumaki have a monstrous chakra reserve that rivals all the cages, so it's not easy to control when you're the last Uzumaki left in Konoha. Sakura, are the Uzumaki really that strong? Kakashi, well, I couldn't answer that question since I don't know much about them. Naruto, my clan was the strongest, feared by all the ninja nations for its fuinjutsu, taijutsu, and kenjutsu as it was unique. But the reason they don't know about my clan is because they lived in Uzumaki, my homeland, where my mother, the Uzumaki princess, lived. She was the daughter of the Uzumaki feudal lord and Uzukade of that village, but Sakura, but what happened to that powerful clan? Naruto, my clan which lived in Uzumaki was massacred by the villages of Iwa and Kumo who had allied themselves to destroy Uzumaki. But my clan didn't go down without a fight. There were about 200 Uzumaki ninja while Iwa had 508 and Kumo had 1,000. My clan killed 105 from Iwa and 500 from Kumo, and my mother was taken to Konoha. Some Uzumaki who weren't in that massacre are still alive, but now no one can enter Uzumaki. Sakura, and why not? Naruto, because Uzumaki is an island with many whirlpools and only those with Uzumaki blood can enter. That's why I went to my village, but it was too much, everything was destroyed. Kakashi, it was a shame what happened to the Uzumaki clan to think that such a powerful clan would end up like that. After spending the whole day training, they went back to Tazuna's house to eat and then go to sleep so they could continue training tomorrow. Chapter 16. The narrator narrates. Naruto had already woken up and was helping Tsunami make breakfast when Tazuna came in, still a little sleepy. Tsunami, good morning, dads. Tazuna, good mornings. Then the others started arriving for breakfast, so they sat down at the table. Tsunami got up to bring her son his breakfast. When they finished, Team 7 left to continue training, although Naruto went with Tazuna to go shopping since he had to keep an eye on him while his two teammates trained. In the village, there weren't many things to buy, which infuriated Kurama and Naruto, but they couldn't do anything yet since they were waiting for the right moment to kill Gojo. Just then, they entered a shop where there was hardly anything to eat, just a carrot and a few other things. Naruto felt like someone was trying to steal from him, so he turned around to see a man. Naruto, so you wanted to rob me? Man, don't kill me. Naruto, how much do you want? Man, just a little so I can have something to eat. Naruto, here the only thing I have with me right now is 100. Man, thank you. Then the man left with a smile, went into a store and bought food. As Naruto and Tazuna were leaving, Naruto felt someone grab his clothes and turned around to see a boy who looked no more than 10 years old. Boy, can you give me some? Naruto, take these candies. Child, thank you. The boy then went not far to share the candy Naruto had given him with other hungry children. Seeing this made him a little sad, but he continued on his way with Tazuna to where they were building the bridge. Man, Tazuna, can I talk to you? Tazuna, what's wrong? Man, it's just that some of us want to quit this job because we're afraid of Gojo and we think we should leave now. Tazuna, you can leave, but I'll stay and fight. I'm not building this bridge for myself, but for those who are in the streets scared and starving. If you want to leave, go, but I'll stay. The man said nothing more and left, which saddened Tazuna a little more, but he couldn't do anything to tell him he had to go because he knew that this man, who was his friend, had a family to take care of. Naruto, I'll help him. Tazuna, what Naruto? I'm going to help you, just tell me what I have to do. After that, Naruto started helping Tazuna finish the bridge a little faster until night fell, so they went back home. When they arrived, Naruto started helping Tsunami with the food while the others set the table. After setting the table and preparing the food, everyone sat down. Then Inari came in and sat down to eat with them, but when she was listening to them talking about how they wanted to push themselves in their training, that's when she exploded and Naruto had already sensed it. Inari, why don't you shut up already and stop striving yourselves with that training? It help you against Goto. He's stronger than you. Naruto, shut up, you don't know if we're going to defeat him or not. Inari, no, you better shut up, idiot, because you're the dumbest person in the world. You know nothing about our village and you know nothing about our pain because you've never lost anyone you loved. Naruto, so that's what you think? Well, to me you're just an idiot kid who doesn't know anything because he's just locked in his room crying about something that already happened. To avoid hearing any more, Naruto got up from the table and left through the door, leaving Inari crying in her mother's arms. Sakura, Naruto went too far this time, look at him making a child cry. Kakashi, you're wrong, Naruto. I didn't say that just to make him cry but to open his eyes. Inari, because if he is in such a village. Kakashi, no, Naruto is from another village, Tsunami, and what happened to that village? Kakashi was destroyed along with his entire clan. Naruto had a terrible childhood. He didn't know his parents. He was beaten at the orphanage. Nobody wanted to be near him until he was 3 years old and they kicked him out of the orphanage and he lived on the streets for a long time. Naruto comes from a clan that no longer exists and that was very powerful. And sometimes he can feel alone, but he won't say it to pretend he's strong even though inside he's suffering. So Naruto didn't say those words just for the sake of it, since he only wants to teach you that life is sometimes hard. And he probably told himself the same things over and over again. Inari's Naruto. After that, everyone finished eating while Naruto was still training, but then he went to a place and that place was where Gojo was. Kurama, Gaki, are you sure about this? Naruto, of course, Kurama, I won't allow Gojo to continue making these poor people suffer. Kurama, alright kid, then I'll support you. After jumping from tree to tree, Naruto climbed the mountain where Gojo was, but when he arrived he saw a giant mansion where there were 2 ninjas who were surely Gojo's, so he approached as relaxed as could be, only to be stopped by the ninjas. Ninja 1, who are you and what are you doing here? Naruto, my name is Naruto Uzumaki and what am I doing here? Well, I've come to kill Gojo. When he said that, the ninjas lunged at Naruto, but with a swift movement he knocked them out and continued on his way to where Gojo was. But when he entered, he found a bunch of ninjas, and behind them was Gojo sitting in a chair. Naruto, hello. Chapter 17. The narrator narrates. Naruto, hello, isn't Gojo here? But instead of answering, the ninjas started laughing at Naruto, which was bothering him a little. Ninja 2, seriously, some tomato-faced brat is going to defeat us. Ninja 3, but it looks like a living tomato. A barrage of insults directed at Naruto began, which annoyed the redhead, so Kurama left his head and hid behind a wall. Naruto, you can say any insult you want about me, but the one you chose had to be tomato, they're more than dead. Then Naruto began running at superhuman speed, striking the approximately 900 ninjas present. Instead of hurling insults, they were now terrified by what they were witnessing. Naruto then unleashed his adamantine chains, stabbing them repeatedly. He then drew the sword sealed in his wrist, initiating a sword fight that the other ninjas were losing. After half an hour of slaughtering them all, Naruto was covered in blood, his blue eyes staring coldly at Gojo. Cat, please don't kill me. I'll give you anything you want, I'll give you women, money, anything you want, but please don't kill me. Naruto, what I want is your deaths. Then Naruto caught Gojo with his chains and slowly approached him, sword in hand, while Kurama also approached. But each time Kurama got closer, he grew larger, frightening Gojo even more. Naruto began cutting off Gojo's fingers, making him scream in pain, then he cut off one of his feet. Cat, no, please, no. Naruto ignored Gojo's pleas and cut off one of his wrists, then one of his toes, before smiling. Gojo watched in horror as Naruto enjoyed his pain. Then the redhead cut off one of his arms to give to Kurama, along with the other body parts Naruto had already severed. Finally, he cut off what made Gojo human. Naruto, look, for a man you've got a small one. Naruto's comment had angered Gojo, so he said this to him. Cat, shut up, living tomato. Upon hearing this, Naruto became enraged, so he cut off Gojo's other arm, causing him to scream even louder in pain. He then gave the arm to Kurama until Naruto grew tired of it and cut off Gojo's head. He then wrapped what remained of Gojo in a scroll. After wrapping the remains, he also had the ninjas clean up. After that, he went to where a group of people were imprisoned and freed them. Since Naruto was covered in blood, they were a little scared, but after a few words from Naruto, they calmed down. He then freed the village lord and left with Kurama on his head. After going from tree to tree, Naruto arrived at Tazuna's house where everyone was already awake and eating breakfast. But when they saw Naruto covered in blood, they almost vomited except for Kakashi, who was used to it. Sakura, but what happened to you? Naruto, nothing, I just took it out on some people. Tazuna, how which ones? Naruto, the ninjas of Gojo and the. After saying that, Naruto pulled all the dead and dismembered cat ninjas out of the scroll they had, and if seeing Naruto covered in blood didn't make them vomit, well, what they saw now certainly did. Tsunami, you did that. Naruto, yeah, it's just that they called me a tomato. Then Team 7 and Tazuna felt a chill run through their bodies upon hearing the word tomato. But anyway, Tazuna and Team 7 went back to the bridge to finish it. Just then, a mist appeared, which Naruto dispelled, and then they saw Zabuza with the Anbu. Zabuza, I'd forgotten that the Uzumaki was here. The fight on the bridge will be the same as in the original Naruto, except that Naruto explained to Zabuza and Haku that Gojo was already dead, so they left. Naruto offered them a place to come to Konoha, so they thought about it for a while and accepted. After Team 7 left after a week since they had to finish the bridge, they went to Konoha with Haku and Zabuza. When they arrived in Konoha, Naruto went to the Hokage Tower with Zabuza and Haku to tell Hiruzen that they were going to keep Naruto. He also told him that he already knew about his parents and wanted the inheritance of everything. When they arrived at the Hokage Tower, Naruto explained everything to Hiruzen, although he also told him something Kurama didn't know, that Naruto belonged to two clans since his father was from the Namikaze clan. So Naruto was going to be from two clans and have more inheritance from his parents and from both clans. After all that paperwork, Hiruzen showed them the house where the clan lived. Uzumaki, where Naruto, Zabuza, and Haku were going to live so they would be safe from everything under Naruto's protection. Since it was already night, they started eating. When they finished, Naruto showed them where his two guests were going to sleep, while Naruto went to sleep in his parents' room.
Chapter 18. The narrator narrates.
Naruto was training with Kurama, practicing the Flying Thunder God technique and the Rasengan that Minato had taught him before leaving, since Naruto couldn't do them yet. Kurama: "Okay Naruto, the first thing you'll do is pop this water balloon." Naruto took the water balloon from one of Kurama's tails and then listened to what he had to do next. Kurama: "What you need to do is pop the balloon with your chakra, okay?"
Naruto: "Yes."
Naruto began concentrating chakra in his hand as Kurama had instructed, but the balloon wasn't doing much, it just kept moving. After spending a whole hour doing this, his hand was numb, but he didn't want to rest until he succeeded. At one point, Naruto made a small hole where the balloon's air escaped, but he still didn't want to rest. Just then, Haku arrived to tell Naruto something. Haku: "Hey Naruto-kun, one of your classmates came by today. It was a girl with pink hair." Naruto: "Sakura." Haku: "Yes." Naruto: "And what did he want?" Haku: "She wanted to tell you something about your team. Kakashi called them and said they had to be there now at Training Ground 7. Naruto: "Okay." Naruto left 3 clones training while he and Kurama went to where their team was waiting. The redhead was walking through the streets, but disapproving looks were quick to appear. Naruto didn't pay them any mind and continued on his way until he reached Training Ground 7, where Sakura and Sasuke were waiting. Sakura was asking Sasuke out on a date, but he was ignoring her. Naruto: "Hello."
Sakura/Sasuke: "Hello."
Naruto: "Do you know why Kakashi-sensei summoned us?" Sakura: "Actually, he didn't just say we should meet here, but I don't know why." Naruto: "Then we'll have to wait for him to come." Team 7 sat under a tree waiting for Kakashi, who hadn't arrived yet. While they waited, Naruto was talking to Kurama in his mind, even though the fox was perched above his head with his eyes closed. Finally, Kakashi arrived. I don't understand why they go at the time Kakashi tells them if they know he's going to be late, but anyway, when he arrived, Team 7 stood up to see what Kakashi had to say. Naruto: "And why did Kakashi-sensei call us?"
Kakashi here.
Kakashi gave them 3 pieces of paper, one for each of them to look at. Then Kakashi proceeded to explain what each piece of paper contained. Kakashi: "As you can see, that's a form to enter the Chunin exams and you have to fill it out if you want to participate." Naruto: "I understand then, this is one more step towards fulfilling my dream." After that, Naruto filled out the form just like Sasuke, although Sakura was hesitant about participating. In the end, she filled it out with her information because she wanted to always be by her Sasuke-kun's side. Then she gave the form to Kakashi to give to the Hokage. Afterward, the 3 of them went their separate ways home. When Naruto arrived, he dissolved the clones so the information would go to him.
Naruto: "So that's how I had to do it," he murmured.
Then Kurama explained the next phase to him in order to perform the Rasengan, where he had to do the same thing as with the water balloon, only now it was with a ball. But when Naruto tried to do the same thing as with the water balloon, the ball bounced off his hand, making it turn red. Naruto: "This is more complicated than I thought." After training with 3 more clones, night fell, so Naruto and Kurama went inside to prepare food for themselves, Haku and Zabuza, who now lived with them. Zabuza also helped. While Haku and Kurama set the table, they all sat down to eat and chat about anything and everything. Naruto finally felt like he was part of a happy family, even though they weren't his relatives. After finishing the meal, Haku started washing the dishes while Zabuza and Naruto talked. Then they all went to sleep, although Naruto couldn't close his eyes, so he got out of bed. Kurama sensed this and woke up as well. Kurama: "Where are you going, kid?"
Naruto: "I can't sleep, I want to keep training."
Kurama: "Alright then, let's train a little more." Naruto and Kurama went outside to the mansion's dojo and began training a little more so Naruto could continue with the other phase of his Rasengan technique. After 2 hours, he finally succeeded, though he collapsed from exhaustion. Kurama then grew to the height of a horse, placed him on Naruto's back and carried him to his room. Later, he shrank to the size of a puppy and settled on Naruto's stomach.
Chapter 19. The narrator narrates.
Naruto was already up as he had to take the Chunin exams. Kurama watched him bustling about, preparing his things until he was finally ready. Kurama climbed onto his head as usual and they left. Kakashi had gone to Naruto's house earlier to tell him where to go. When he arrived at the academy, he saw Sasuke and Sakura waiting for him at the entrance. They went inside together, but as they walked through the hallways, they saw a large group of people. They decided to approach them, but just as they were getting close to the crowd, a boy in green spandex with a bowl cut, large eyebrows and leg warmers stuck to his face appeared. Naruto caught him. Naruto, are you okay?
Lee, yes, thank you, my name is Rockley, nice to meet you.
Naruto, I'm Naruto Uzumaki and these are my teammates Sakura and Sasuke. Upon seeing Sakura, Lee approached her to ask her out, but she refused, telling him it was strange. The same thing happens here as in the original anime. After Lee gave Sasuke a beating and Guy appeared, Team 7 left to go to the exam site. When they entered, they encountered the other teams, as well as some ninja teams from other villages who were giving them dirty looks. Then Ino appeared and hugged Sasuke around the neck, and Sakura started fighting with her. Shikamaru, how annoying. Naruto, hello Shikamaru. Shikamaru, hey Naruto, you guys came to this exam too, right? Naruto, we're not here to watch, of course we're going to participate, otherwise why would we be here? Shikamaru, the Uzumaki are so annoying. Everyone started talking, although then one of them started shouting, and yes, that person was Sakura. Anyway, one of the participants who had silver hair and glasses approached them to tell them to calm down and all that stuff. That idiot Kabuto, Orochimaru's pet, the four-eyed one, you know, the usual Kabuto, says what happens here is the same as in the original anime. Then Ibiki came to give the first exam. Naruto, Kurama, you know what needs to be done, right? Kurama, of course kid, you should look for information from the students who know the answer from your location, but make sure you don't get caught.
What?
Naruto, I understand. Naruto used Kagura's mind's eye to detect everyone's chakra, seeing who had the answer since he could see who had a different chakra signature. Then he activated his Rinnegan, making sure no one saw him, as the Rinnegan allowed him to see farther and copy without being noticed. After finishing his exam, he deactivated his Rinnegan and waited for everyone to finish. When everyone had finished, Ibiki began to speak, the same as in the original anime. When everyone was in training ground 44, also known as the Forest of Death, Anko began to explain everything they had to do. They also had to sign a paper stating that they were not responsible for their deaths. They then went to retrieve the Scroll of Earth and waited until everyone was ready and had their scrolls. Naruto, awesome, we have the Earth Scroll. Sasuke, very well thought out Naruto, since those who have the Wind Scroll will have to come after us. When everyone was ready, they started running through the Forest of Death where Team 7 stopped to form a plan. Sasuke, very well, here's the plan. Naruto, wait Sasuke. Sasuke, what's wrong Naruto? Naruto, someone is spying on us. Sasuke, someone write your sensory ability. Naruto, yeah, so we have to speak in hushed tones and I already know how we're going to find out who we are. Sakura, what? Naruto, so look at this. Naruto took 3 kunai from his pocket, each painted a different color. Sasuke's was red, Sakura's was purple, and Naruto's was white. Then they devised a plan to trap the ninja who was spying on them. Sasuke, well, the password will be this. Those who don't follow the rules are scum, but those who abandon their friends are worse than scum. Sakura, of course, remember what Kakashi-sensei told us. Naruto. Naruto, yes. Then the ninja who was spying on them attacked Naruto and a different Naruto appeared. Naruto, but was that ninja crazy or what? Sakura, Naruto, is that you? Naruto, of course it's me, look. Those who don't follow the rules are scum, but those who abandon their friends are worse than scum. Come on, it's me. And Sasuke had kneed him in the stomach, and then the ninja looked at him in surprise. Ninja, but how come I said the password and everything? Naruto, that's because that wasn't the password, it was this one. Naruto pulled the white kunai from his pocket and Sasuke and Sakura did the same. They then beat the ninja and took the wind scroll from him. But since night was falling, they decided to camp in a safe place that Naruto said was deserted. After arriving, they set up their sleeping bags. There was a lake nearby, so they fished and then cooked their catch over the campfire. When they finished eating, Naruto put one of his clones on guard while they slept. Chapter 20.
The narrator narrates.
Team 7 was already awake, so they organized their things and continued on their way. But as they were walking along peacefully, Naruto sensed a chakra approaching them at high speed, but then it stopped very close to where they were. So Sasuke and Sakura stopped, and when they saw Naruto stop, they did too. Sasuke, what's wrong? Naruto, I sense a chakra that's close to us, but Sasuke, but Naruto, now he's watching us, I don't know why, but I have a bad feeling about that person. His chakra is. Sakura, what's wrong with her chakra? Naruto, his chakra is at a higher level than ours and that of all the other participants taking the exam. Furthermore, I sense that his chakra is malevolent and evil. He's an enemy of Konoha in my eyes, Sasuke, but what's someone like you're talking about doing here? Naruto, I don't know, but I don't think he wants to wish us luck. Sakura, so what do we do? Naruto, nothing for now since he's watching us to see what move we make. Sasuke, we need to do something soon because he might attack us first. Naruto, I know, just let me think of something. We could use my shadow clones to create an explosion, and we can stay here while my clones transform into you and me and leave. Sakura, good idea, but what if he's smarter than us and doesn't go after your clones? Naruto, here comes my fuinjutsu knowledge. Sasuke, and what are you going to do? Naruto, a barrier to keep him out, and if he gets in underneath, he'll get a very powerful shock. Sakura, okay then let's do it. Naruto created shadow clones to generate a smoke bomb large enough to obscure their location. 2 clones transformed into Sakura and Sasuke while the third remained unchanged. The original Naruto then retrieved seals from his backpack, wrote something on them and placed them around his team. He ordered his clones to disperse as the smoke lingered and they obeyed. Sakura, do you think he left? Naruto, he'll have to do it because this barrier not only protects us but also makes us invisible to others and hides our chakra very well. Sasuke, it was good that you knew techniques like these. Naruto, actually fuinjutsu is my clan's specialty, so it's not difficult for me to do it. Kurama, who was listening to what Naruto was saying, hit him on the head with his tail. Naruto, also someone taught me fuinjutsu because I didn't really know anything about it, and I owe it all to Kurama. He was my sensei. Sakura, do you respect that Kurama guy? Naruto, of course he's the one who taught me everything I know. Without him, I wouldn't be anything or the boy I am now. Kurama felt happy and proud of Naruto, but he didn't show it. A few more seconds passed and Sasuke was already getting impatient. Sasuke, hey Naruto, did that guy leave already? Naruto, sorry, he left with the clones. It seems he fell for it. At that moment, Naruto received information from one of his clones and was impressed by what he saw in the clone's memories, and this was also witnessed by his companions. Sakura, what's wrong? Naruto, it seems that guy is just as I thought. Sasuke, and who was it? Naruto, look, the only thing I'm going to tell you is this: that guy was really strong, and he had chakra at a level that a genin doesn't have, so I deduced that he's an infiltrator. But from what I saw in my clone's memories, he was from Konoha, so he must have been expelled from our village. Also, there's something that leaves me wondering. Sasuke, and what is it? Naruto, who didn't attack 2 clones? Sakura, and what were those clones? Naruto, one was mine and the other was the one transformed into Sakura, so he only attacked the clone that was transformed into Sasuke. So that man who calls himself Orochimaru wants something from you, Sasuke. Sasuke, from me, but what can I give him that he doesn't already have if he's so strong? Naruto, well, I'm thinking about 2 things. Sakura, in what? Naruto, does he want to kidnap you to get a reward for your rescue or something like that? But I don't think so, or maybe he does. Sasuke, say it already. Naruto, that he's after Sasuke's eyes would be logical, trying to get something only the Uchiha clan can give, but if he wants your eyes, he could do the following: sell you to a village to be used as a breeding machine or something else, but that would be inhumane. Sakura, what are you talking about? Naruto, he wants to take Sasuke's eyes and transplant them into himself. If I remember correctly, I heard that Orochimaru was one of the 3 legendary Sannin and was very good at conducting experiments, but the 3rd Hokage discovered this and banished him from the village. So it wouldn't be surprising if he's looking for Sasuke's eyes. Sakura, that's horrible. Sasuke, so it's my eyes you're looking for. Naruto, I don't know, but it's just my opinion. Until we know more, we can't reach a quick conclusion, so we're just going to inform the Hokage. Sakura/Sasuke, yes. Then Naruto took out the papers he had written on and put them in his backpack as they could be very useful. After running for an hour, they arrived at the meeting point where they placed the 2 scrolls in an XY shape. Uruka came out and told them they could rest. The boys simply agreed, but before doing so, they stopped Naruto. Sakura, Naruto, aren't we going to tell the Hokage about this? Naruto, for now let's rest since we're exhausted and we'll tell him tomorrow. Sasuke, that sounds good to me. Sakura, me too, then we'll tell the Hokage tomorrow. The 2 boys only attended, after which Team 7 went to their rooms to sleep. Chapter 21. The narrator narrates. Team 7 encountered the Hokage, having located him thanks to Naruto's sensory abilities. Hiruzen, guys, what's going on? Naruto, dude, we need to talk about something serious. Hiruzen, and what is it? Naruto, I know you're going to think this is crazy, but we ran into Orochimaru. Hiruzen, what? Naruto, we can't talk here, guys, we have to go. They all attended to enter a room where Naruto placed perfected silence seals. Hiruzen, now then tell me what happened. Sakura, well, we were about to go to the meeting point when Naruto told them that someone was watching us. Naruto, and judging by his chakra, he was a Sannin and he was very wicked and evil, which is why he was Orochimaru. Sasuke, and thanks to Naruto's sealing technique, we were able to hide from him while Naruto clones disguised as us acted as bait. Naruto, And when Orochimaru attacked the clone that was transformed into Sasuke, we knew he wanted something from Sasuke, and we came to two conclusions. One was to kidnap him to demand a reward, or the other was to take out his eyes and transplant them into one of his experiments. Hiruzen, whom Orochimaru is a dangerous person. It's lucky you were able to escape him. As for Sasuke, we'll have to keep a closer eye on him in case he tries to attack again. Naruto, there's something else I didn't say. Sakura, what? Naruto, old Orochimaru bit my clone on the footprint to put a mark on it that, judging by what it was like, I'm sure belonged to one of the Uzumaki seals but improved. Why Hiruzen? Well, I don't know what to say about that since I didn't know anything about it. Naruto, okay, well that's all we have to say. Goodbye. Then Team 7 left the room with the third Hokage, but Hiruzen sent guards to search the entire perimeter in case they found Orochimaru. Afterward, Team 7 left with the other teams that had passed the test. Ino, hello Sasuke-ikuen. Naruto, Kurama, what are you saying? Does Orochimaru want a body to keep living, or does he really want Sasuke's eyes? What? Kurama, I think he wants Sasuke's body to take it and make it his own, because if he has Sasuke's body, he'll have the Sharigan eyes and won't need to remove them. Naruto, you're right, besides, he's now hidden but transformed into the Kazekage. Kurama, yes, I'm sorry too. For now, let's not say anything and wait to see what he does in the first round of the exam fights. Naruto, yes, I agree with you. After the announcer explained the groups, the first fight was between Sasuke and Yori. They remained in the arena staring at each other while the others went to the stands to watch. Naruto stayed behind to warn Sasuke to be careful with Yori, then he went to the stands. Hey, are you ready? Yori/Sasuke, yes. Hey, then fight. Sasuke stared at Yori trying to figure out how to attack him, but Yori was the first to move, wanting to touch Sasuke, who instinctively jumped back. Naruto, Sasuke, don't let him touch you. Sasuke, then I shouldn't let him touch me, but if he touches me, what happens? It's probably best never to find out. Sasuke began to distance himself from Yori so that he couldn't be touched. When he felt he was at an acceptable distance, he began to make hand seals and then said, Sasuke Katen Gaokukyu no Jutsu Fire Style, Fireball Jutsu. Then a large fireball shot from his mouth, heading straight for Yori, who couldn't dodge it in time. A small part of his arm was burned. Sasuke then ran towards him and kicked him in the stomach, sending him crashing into the wall and knocking him unconscious. Hey, the winner Sasuke Uchiha. After the other fights, it was finally Naruto's turn, but it was against Kiba, which he didn't care about, so he walked to the fighting arena while Luna jumped from the stands with Akamaru to get there faster. Kiba, this will be easy, right, Akamaru? Akamaru, wow. Naruto, don't get too cocky just because you have a partner, because I have one too. Kiba, you'll lose to me with or without a partner because I'm an alpha. Naruto, yeah, whatever you say. Hey-san, is it okay if I summon a wolf? Hey, well, it needs to be of average height if you want to have one of your summons fight with you. Naruto, don't worry. Naruto then made hand seals very quickly before placing one of his hands on the ground where a circle with letters appeared. Naruto, Kuchihiwasi no Jutsu. Then a cloud of smoke appeared, and when it disappeared, a white fox was revealed with blue fire flying on its sides. It was a little small, but it was powerful. What does Naruto-sama need? Naruto, hi Kimio, I want you to fight with me against them. Kimio, alright Naruto-sama, I will fight you. After that, the fox stood beside Naruto, although Kurama was in the stands sitting on one of the railings since Naruto didn't want him to fight for now. Then Kiba and Akamaru got into fighting stances, as did Kimio and Naruto, waiting for Hayate to give the signal that they could fight. Hayate, they're ready. Kiba/Naruto, yes. Hayate, fight. When Naruto gave the signal, he waited for Kiba to make his first move until. Chapter 22. Naruto narrates. I was waiting for Kiba to start attacking until I heard a scream that was impossible not to recognize. Sakura, Naruto finishes Kiba. I was starting to feel a little sorry for him falling in love with her, but oh well. I looked at Kimio, who was also looking at Akamaru, and since I saw that nobody was moving, I came up with a plan. Naruto, that's strange. I thought the Inuzuka would attack before their opponents, but I think you're just too afraid of being defeated. Kiba, what did you say, you idiot? I'm not scared. Then Kiba came towards me just as I wanted, and I activated my explosive tags, causing a lot of explosions everywhere. I still felt that Kiba was okay, although a little hurt, but even with those injuries he could keep fighting. At that moment I saw Kiba approaching me with Akamaru, so I looked at Kimio, who was also watching me, and we both nodded. Naruto, Kimio Akamaru is on the right. Kimio, yes, Naruto estime. Then Akamaru and Kiba appeared and started attacking Kimio and me. Although we were ready for it, I started fighting Kiba, who wasn't fighting very well since he's only used to fighting Akamaru together. This time with two opponents, it was very difficult for them to fight alone, but who says I'd give the others an advantage? I wasn't going to. I wanted it to be an even fight so I could win fairly. After that, I punched Kiba in the face, sending him crashing into the wall of the battle arena. I waited for Kiba to show any sign of moving until I saw him move an arm. I ran at superhuman speed to where Kiba was, grabbed the hood of his jacket and kicked him in the back, sending him flying about 5 meters. I looked at Kimio, who was fighting Akamaru, but Kimio was waiting for me to give the order to finish him off. Then I looked at Kiba, who was glaring at me angrily. Naruto, you know you disappoint me, to be honest. I expected more from you, but I think I got my hopes up too high. Kiba, shut up. Then I started walking straight towards Kiba, then stopped inches away from him and looked at Kimio, who was also looking at me while holding Akamaru by his tail. Naruto, Kimio, you can end your fight now. Kimio, as you command, Naruto-sama. Then Kimio hit Akamaru and the little dog fell defeated. Then I looked at Kiba, who was impressed, then he looked at me. Kiba, you're a bucking bastard. That hateful look, I don't know why, but it scared me. I started to back away because I didn't like being seen with that purple face. Besides, I still hadn't gotten over those looks, so the way they stared at me frightened me or made me feel bad. I had tripped accidentally and covered my face with my hands. I didn't want to see that hateful purple knot again. Just then I heard Kurama's voice saying something to me, even though I looked at him. Kurama's Gaki, you must overcome him. Naruto, I can't, Kurama, I don't want to see that purple of hatred again. Without realizing it, I started to hyperventilate until I looked at Kiba. My eyes were like Kurama's, my teeth had grown a little larger and the lines on my face that looked like whiskers were becoming more prominent. This was bad. I was starting to lose control. I thought I could control it, but I guess I can't. Just then, Kimio disappeared in a puff of smoke and Kurama approached me, but I wouldn't let him. I looked at Kiba, who was impressed, but I kept staring at that hateful face. Then I saw a bunch of villagers looking at me with the same eyes. Naruto, stop looking at me like that. At that moment, Hiruzen ran towards me, but I moved further away. Kurama then began to calm me down, and I returned to my normal self before disappearing and reappearing behind Kiba and knocking him out. Hey, ga winner Naruto Uzumaki. I looked at Hiruzen, who was looking at me with concern, so I approached him. Naruto, I'm sorry I lost control, but it won't happen again. Hiruzen, I hope so, but I'm glad you're okay and that you were able to control yourself. Naruto, yes, thanks to him. I pointed to Kurama, who had returned to the stands, and then Hiruzen ruffled my hair and went back to his seat. I followed Kurama to the stands, and when I approached, Kurama had climbed back onto my head. Then the other matches began, just like in the original anime. After that, we all went home since we had been given a week to train for the upcoming matches. I was scheduled to face Neji Hyuga, which made me happy because I was going to get revenge for what he had done to Hinata. He had tried to kill her. When I got home, I started cooking some food since Kurama was lying on one of the pet beds I had bought for him before coming home. When I finished putting the food on the table, I sat down. Next to me was Kurama with a platter of food I had also bought, along with his bed, which I think he liked. After eating, I went to my room to sleep, while Kurama lay on my stomach, even though I had bought him a bed. Lying down on my stomach, which amused me a little until I fell asleep. Hi everyone, I wanted to let you know that even though there won't be a harem in Naruto, there will be Yaoi 3, so look forward to the chapter where you'll find out who Naruto is in love with. Naruto, that's not fair. I thought this was going to be a secret between us and you promised me you wouldn't do Yaoi with me. Well, I changed my mind, Naruto. What can I say? People change their minds a lot. Naruto, HMPH, how shameless of you. Slash, but I still know she'll like it 3. Chapter 23. The narrator narrates. Naruto was having breakfast peacefully with Kurama when Haku arrived, looking a little sleepy, coming down the stairs. He then sat down at the table to eat the breakfast that Naruto had prepared for him and Zabuza. Naruto, good morning, Haku. Haku, good morning, Naruto and Kurama's. Kurama, good mornings. Naruto and Zabuza isn't coming down for breakfast. Haku, oh, I'm sorry, Naruto, for not telling you yesterday, but you looked a little tired, so I didn't say anything. Naruto, tell me what. Haku, Zabuza-san left on a mission that the Hokage asked him to do yesterday, so he won't be around for a few days. Naruto, I understand. Haku, and did you finish your exam? Are you a chunin now? Naruto, no, not yet. Actually, they gave us a week to train. Haku, so you'll train quite a bit, right? Naruto, yeah, and how are things going for you in ANBU? Haku, well, things are going very well for me. I'm an ANBU under the Hokage's command, which makes me happy, although I don't understand why you didn't let me join Root. Naruto, because Danzo is in charge at Root and I don't trust him. I feel like he's hiding something I don't like, that's why I didn't let you go. Besides, he could have used you for other things, like getting you to have children with other people. And since he's bitter about you, I couldn't do anything because you have to obey his orders and I couldn't interfere. Haku, I understand then, it's good that I'm not in Rei's hee. Naruto, well, changing the subject, do you have a mission today? Haku, yes, I'll have to leave for 2 days. Naruto, okay then, good luck.
Haku, thank you. Naruto, and when are you leaving? Haku, today, but in the afternoons. Naruto, okay, well, I'm done now, so I'm going to wash my plate and go train. Haku, good. Naruto stood up with his plate while Kurama jumped from the table onto Naruto's shoulder as he washed his plate. After washing his plate, Kurama dried his hands and went to the backyard. There, Kurama took human form and began telling Naruto what to do. Meanwhile, Naruto started creating shadow clones to speed things up, as he needed to perfect the Rasengan and learn how to use the Flying Thunder God technique, Hurricane, which Kurama had written on a scroll. When his father explained the Flying Thunder God technique, he also wrote it down so Naruto could understand better. While the three clones read the scroll, the other clones learned how to improve the Rasengan, and the original Naruto began his physical training. Another clone was reading the Sealing Technique Finjutsu scroll to further improve his technique. After finishing his physical training, he began practicing with his sword to control his power. After training for several hours, Naruto dispelled his clones and then had a terrible headache. Kurama had transformed back into his human form. Chibai to go with Naruto and sit on his lap. Kurama's, are you alright, kids? Naruto, yes, although this training is a little tiring. Kurama, well, what did you expect from training to improve an unfinished technique? Naruto, what, it was going to be easy. Kurama, hey kid, if training were as easy as you say, then anyone could do it without getting tired. Besides, don't be such a complainer, kid, this is just the beginning. For now, rest a little. Naruto, yes, it would be best if I rested to have more energy. Kurama placed himself on Naruto's head as he stood up and walked inside the house. Then he changed into more comfortable clothes, which are these. Ignore the weapons. After changing, he left his house and started walking. Some people looked at him with hatred and disgust, while some women continued to look at him lustfully. Naruto, even though he was used to it, didn't like it, so he decided to ignore all those looks, although sometimes it was impossible not to. Anyway, Naruto arrived at the forest where they had taken the test to become a team, which was Team 7. They passed thanks to their teamwork, although Sakura didn't like the idea. After remembering that, she lay down on the grass in the shade of a tree to look at the sky, which had a few clouds, while Kurama lay on her stomach. Naruto, hey Kurama. Kurama's, what's wrong? Naruto, well, I was wondering what my mother was like since I didn't revive her, I only revived my father. Kurama. Well, she was sometimes scary, but she was a very good person, she smiled at everyone. Sometimes she was very noisy and got angry very easily. Besides, to your father, she was my pretty girl. Her hair was very long and red and it was silky. What? Naruto, she sounds very beautiful, friendly, and sometimes grumpy, but she would be the perfect mother as well as the perfect wife. Kurama. Yes, I think so. To be honest, those things never interested me, that's why I sometimes ignore them. But you know, before your mother died, I promised her something now that I remember. Naruto, what, Kurama? I promise to support you in everything, to protect you from anything, and to advise you on things you don't understand, like what it feels like to fall in love for the first time and those human things. Naruto, well, I think you're doing a great job, Kurama, in doing that, because to me you're now like my older brother. Kurama. I never thought I'd say this, but I believe it too, and I can't believe I've grown fond of you. It's strange to say this, but I hope we're never separated. Naruto, I say the same. After that, Naruto went home with Kurama on his head. When they arrived, Naruto started making food since they had been talking for a long time and it had gotten dark. When the food was ready, he put it on the table, then sat down and started eating with Kurama. When they finished, they both went to sleep. Chapter 24. Naruto narrates. I was training like yesterday since I had woken up very early wanting to train, although I had already had breakfast before starting my training. The sun was already rising and I could feel the cold morning wind on my face. That was what I liked most about waking up early. Kurama, you woke up very cheerful today, didn't you? What? Naruto, yeah, I think so, hee. After practicing my sword control more, I started reading a bit of the Fuinjutsu scroll. Then I created a seal that would make the Sharigan unaffected along with all its genjutsu. It was very difficult though, as it took me more than an hour to complete the seal, but I finally managed it. Hours passed and I continued training hard until I was exhausted. So I dissolved my clones and then I got a headache from all the information that had flooded my mind. I finally sat down to rest. Kurama, I think you deserve a break now. Naruto, well, I think so. I spent like 3 hours training all this, so a break won't be so bad. I got up from where I was and Kurama jumped onto my head as usual. There was no one home today since Zabuza and Haku were away on important missions, but anyway, I went to my room to take a 10-minute shower. When I got out, I changed into this. Then I left my house to go across the rooftop so I wouldn't see those shitty looks. I was watching people when I saw a boy I already knew, Sasuke, but Sakura was there too.
I don't know why, but it bothers me when she grabs his arm, even though I know he doesn't pay attention to her, it still bothers me. I was so lost in my thoughts that I wasn't hearing Kurama talking to me. Kurama, hey Gaki wake up daydream. Naruto, sorry Kurama, I was lost in thought, what were you saying? Kurama, I was telling you that Sakura and Sasuke were there, you saw them, right?
What?
Naruto, yeah, I saw them, although I'm not really interested in what they're doing, to be honest. Kurama, yeah, sure kid, and I was born yesterday. Remember, I can hear your thoughts, so if you're interested in what they're doing, well, what Sasuke is doing with Sakura, eh? Naruto, what can I do, Kurama? It's not like he's interested in me since I'm just a kid. Kurama, well, you're not exactly a boy. Naruto, what do you mean? Kurama, you have parts of a woman. Only when I removed the Uzumaki seal, I also put a seal on so it wouldn't be obvious that you're cuter than a woman. Naruto, so I'm like a woman too. Kurama, yes, although you can also procreate like a woman, meaning you can get pregnant. Naruto, okay, wait, what? I had shouted so loudly that I got everyone's attention, so the best thing to do was leave. When I was finally far away from the others, I decided not to think about what Kurama had told me, even though I tried, I couldn't, so I asked him about it. Naruto, and how is that possible, Kurama? Being a Jinchuriki allows you to have things that boys can't have in addition to having secret abilities. Naruto, I really didn't expect that, but if I'm a Jinchuriki, does that mean others like me can have that too? Kurama, if only male Jinchuriki, since women already have it, that's called being a virgin, that's what we beasts call it. Naruto, I understand, so I can get pregnant even if it's a man. That's really weird. Kurama, I know, but oh well, you have to live with it, kid. After talking about it with Kurama, I went to Ikaraku to get something to eat since Kurama let me have ramen today. When I arrived, I ordered a ramen with extra pork, and Kurama only ordered a small one. I was happily eating my ramen when someone with white hair and somewhat strange clothes came and sat next to me and also ordered ramen. I was so engrossed in my ramen that I started listening to Tuchai's conversation with the man. Although I don't know why that man seemed familiar. Could it be because of course my father had told me about him when I revived him? That man was Jiraiya, one of the 3 legendary Sannin and also one of my godparents, just like Tsunade, but also Orochimaru, now that I think about it. Naruto, so you're that Jiraiya I've heard so much about. Jiraiya, do you know me? Naruto, it's impossible not to know you, you're one of the most perverted people in the world and you're also my godfather since I'm the son of Minato and Kushina. Jiraiya, how do you know they're your parents? Naruto, because I revived my father so he could teach me the Rasengan and the Flying Thunder God technique. Jiraiya, so you're that Naruto Hiruzen told me so much about. Naruto, yes, that's me, godfather. Jiraiya, what a joy to find you here, brat. Naruto, that's what I should be saying, godfather, hee. After talking for hours, it had gotten dark, so we had to leave. He went to talk to the old man while I had to go home to get something to eat. When I arrived, I saw the food was already ready, which impressed me a little, but on the table I found a note. Note. I hope you like the food Naruto prepares. At Hiruzen Sarutobai. End of note. That made me very happy, so I started eating with Kurama. When we finished, I washed both plates and went to my room with Kurama in my arms. I put Kurama on the bed while I changed until I lay down. Kurama climbed on top of me to sleep too. He even looks like a ball of fur when he lies down. Then I fell asleep. Chapter 25. Naruto narrates. I was out buying some things because I had finished training when I bumped into Shikamaru, who I think was also shopping. Shikamaru, hello Naruto. Naruto, hello. Shikamaru, buying Naruto, yes, and you? Shikamaru, my mother also sent me shopping, what a drag. Naruto, hee, well, I have to keep shopping because I'm going to train afterwards, so bye. Shikamaru, yes, goodbye Naruto. After that, I continued on my way to buy some food since I was running low, medicine just in case, and bandages since I only had one left. I had already bought weapons and clothes, so that was all I needed. I saw people with their children and wondered, what must it feel like to have a family? I pushed those thoughts out of my head since I didn't want to think about it, not for now. I arrived at the store where I entered with a spell to buy the food. When I finished, all I did was pay and leave. Now that I think about it, I haven't seen Sasuke since that time he was with Sakura. I was walking calmly to go into another store where they sold the things I needed so I could buy them and leave, undoing the spell I had on. I was walking home when someone bumped into me, almost making me fall since I was distracted. When I was about to tell them to be more careful, I saw that person, but I couldn't say anything. Naruto, I'm sorry I didn't see you. Naruto, no problem, what are you doing here, Sasuke? Sasuke, well, can't I go for a walk? Naruto, no, of course you can, it's just that I thought you were going to be training all day. Sasuke, yes, that's what I was doing, but I had to come buy something. I was just heading home and you? Naruto, I was also buying things. We stayed talking about a few things until we heard women, a little crazy, screaming our names. Sasuke grabbed my hand and started running. I followed him, blushing slightly since he was still holding my hand. After running for a while, Sasuke entered an alley where he pinned me against the wall and stood in front of me a bit too close for my liking. But honestly, I didn't mind him being so close. In fact, I liked it. A moment later, the women passed by where we were, but there were still some who had been screaming my name. Sasuke turned into Naruto. What? Sasuke, just do it. Naruto, good. I had already transformed into a woman, but when I saw Sasuke, he was transformed into a man. Then I realized what Sasuke was thinking, so I just had to play along. The women were already there and had seen us, but Sasuke approached me and then kissed. I was a little shocked. I thought we were going to leave holding hands like a couple, not that he would kiss me. The women left quickly, but Sasuke continued kissing me, which made me nervous. Then he ended the kiss and looked at me in his true form, and I transformed back, but I was still blushing from the kiss. Sasuke, the plan worked out well, but you had to go along with me. Naruto, I didn't think you were going to kiss me, at least you could have, I don't know, told me. Sasuke, if I had told you, it wouldn't have been funny anymore. Naruto, what do you mean? Sasuke, I bet I hadn't seen the Naruto from earlier, the blushing Naruto. Naruto, you're... But I couldn't finish because Sasuke silenced me by putting one of his fingers to my mouth. Sasuke, not a word of this to anyone, it'll be our secret. Naruto, fine, whatever you want. We left the place as if nothing had happened, but Sasuke had hit me on the butt before we left, so I looked at him blushing. But he gave me a sly smile. That idiot is going to pay for this. I went home since I had left Kurama here watching the house. When I entered, I saw Kurama sitting on the couch, so I put my things on the kitchen table. Naruto, Kurama, I'm here. Kurama, Naruto, what was that strange feeling? Naruto, what do you mean? Kurama, being my Jinchuriki, I can sense your emotions. Naruto, I don't think I can hide anything from you. Kurama, well, no. Naruto, I ran into Sasuke. Kurama's and Naruto, we were escaping from some women who were crazy about us until we hid in an alley. We had to transform me into a girl and him into someone else. Kurama, what happened next? Naruto, well, he kissed me. Kurama, what? Naruto, he kissed me and then told me that what happened had to be a secret between us, and well, he also smacked my butt. Kurama, well, I think you've got the Uchiha crazy enough to make him do this. Naruto, I don't think so, he wouldn't notice me. Kurama, who knows everything, could be Naruto or... Naruto, I don't know, but well, let's get cooking, it's already night. Kurama, seriously, time flies. Naruto, aha, we're coming, Kurama's. Kurama just jumped onto my head while I went to cook. When I finished, I put the food on the table and sat down, while Kurama sat down at the table. Then we started eating. After we finished, I went to wash the dishes with Kurama on my shoulder. I don't know why, but I think I've gotten used to him always being above my head or on my shoulder. After I finished washing the dishes, I walked to the stairs and went up them. Then I went into my room and lay down on the bed with Kurama next to me, and I fell asleep. Chapter 26. The narrator narrates. Naruto was having a beautiful dream that had him smiling, while Kurama watched him with an anime sweat drop behind his head. Naruto's dreams. Naruto was walking through a beautiful forest with many cute animals, but then he came to a meadow with many flowers of all colors, and ahead of him was Sasuke smiling at him as he approached. Naruto stood still watching as Sasuke slowly approached him until he was close. Sasuke, Naruto, I want to tell you something. Naruto, what? Sasuke, from the first time I saw you as children, you seemed very cute and sweet, but at the same time so fragile around other people that I felt I wanted to protect you and always have you by my side. Naruto, Sasuke, are you serious? Sasuke, I've never been so serious in my life, Naruto. Sasuke then moved closer to Naruto's face, and just as they were about to kiss, Naruto woke up because Kurama was calling him. Kurama's Gaki, wake up already. Naruto, Kurama, can't you see I had such a lovely dream? Kurama, yes, I know, remember that you are my Jinchuriki, so I can hear your thoughts, what you feel, I can even see what you are dreaming about. Naruto, what? Kyorame, and you can't just ignore my dreams. Kurama, yes, I can, but I wanted to see what it was that had you smiling in that dream. I never thought you dreamed about the Uchiha. Naruto, whatever, let's go trains. Kurama, if we goes. Naruto got out of bed, went to the bathroom to take a 10-minute bath, then changed into this. He left the bathroom and went to the kitchen with Kurama on his head, where he made breakfast, toast with jam, chopped fruit, and orange juice. He put it on the table and began eating with Kurama. After finishing, they went to the patio to start training again as he did every day. He spent 3 hours training tirelessly until Kurama approached him. Naruto, what's wrong, Kurama? Kurama, Gaki, you should rest a little. Naruto, but I'm not tired yet. Kurama, I know, but it's always good to rest a little. Naruto, I think you're right. Naruto went inside the house to read and drink tea when he heard the door open. He knew it could be Haku or Zabuza since it couldn't be anyone else because they didn't have Naruto's permission. Only trusted Uzumakis or those who gave Naruto permission could enter. Then he saw Haku. Naruto, hello Haku. Haku, hello Naruto. Naruto, and how was your mission? Haku, well, it wasn't very interesting to say the least. Naruto, well, at least you made it home safely, right? Haku, yes, although you already resemble a younger brother worried about his older brother. Naruto, well, because to me you're like my brother. You and Zabuza are like the older brothers I never had. Haku, hee, I think that's true because I love you too, like you're my little brother. Kurama, and what about me, you ungrateful brats? Naruto, you too, Kurama. Haku, if you too, Kurama-sama. Kurama, much better, even though I'm the older brother because I'm older than all of you. Naruto, I think you're right, Kuramas. By the way, when's your birthday? Kurama, I don't really remember it very well. Naruto, then tomorrow we're going to celebrate your first birthday. Kurama, Gaki, that's not necessary. Naruto, I don't care, you deserve to celebrate your birthday, and I don't care if you say no, I'll do it. Kurama, as you wish, kid. Haku, and I'll help you, Naruto, to celebrate Kurama-sama's birthday. Naruto, thanks Haku, well, I'll go train in the Forest of Death. Haku, okay, but be careful. Then Naruto left with Kurama on his head for the Forest of Death, but first they bought more ninja weapons and more blank paper to create seals. When they finished shopping, they went to the Forest of Death. Upon arriving, they ventured deeper into the forest, where after walking a long way, they reached a place where they could train. There, Naruto began creating more clones than at home to start training his taijutsu, fuinjutsu, improving his Rasengan, learning his father's flying thunder god technique, chakra control, his stamina, creating new seals, perfecting his swordsmanship, and perfecting his technique. They trained very hard all day, but sometimes Naruto would rest for a while and then continue training until night fell, but Naruto wanted to keep training. Kurama, kid, we should go now, it's getting dark and this place is very dangerous, and I'm not going to be protecting you all night. Naruto, okay Kurama, let's go. After that, Naruto went home with Kurama on his head. When he arrived, he saw Haku with the food already prepared on the table, so he sat down to eat with him. After they finished eating, Naruto helped Haku wash the dishes. Then they went to sleep, and Naruto dispelled all the clones that remained in the Forest of Death, fainting from exhaustion. Kurama sat down next to him, curled up into a ball, and fell asleep. Chapter 27. The narrator narrates. Naruto had gotten up, leaving a clone next to Kurama to make him think he was still asleep and to keep him entertained for a while Naruto went to the bathroom to take a 10-minute shower. Then he came out of the bathroom already changed into these clothes. She left the room and went to the kitchen where Haku was preparing breakfast and putting it on the table. Haku, is Kurama-sama still sleeping? Naruto, I left him with my clone. Now what we have to do is make Kurama think it's us, since I'm going to make 2 clones and this seal I created behind Kurama's back will help us. Haku, and what does he do? Naruto, I just make 2 clones of myself, then I put blood or a bit of hair in the seal so that the clone has our scent and the chakra of the other person, so that no one can tell it's just a clone. Haku, what a great seal, Naruto, you really impress me. Naruto, hee, thanks for the compliment, but now give me some of your hair. Haku, of course. Haku cut off some of his hair and gave it to Naruto, who began to make the seal. He placed Haku's hair on the seal, then created 2 clones of himself. One of them transformed into Haku and he placed the paper with the seal on it. Then they left the house to begin searching for Kurama's gift since Naruto had asked him yesterday while training what he would like. Haku, and does Kurama-sama want a gift? Naruto, well, yesterday she told me she wanted a very rare flower that only grows once a year and I've been researching it and the flower will grow today so we can pick it. Haku, okay, and where is that flower? Naruto, she's on a mountain far away from the village, so we're going to send clones of ourselves to go and find her. Haku, good. Haku and Naruto created their own clones and sent them to find that flower, then stopped halfway there. Haku, wait, is there something else Kurama-sama wants? Naruto, well, he told me that his favorite food is berries, blackberries, grapes, blueberries, and things like that, plus a special herb where he liked to lie down, or at least that's what he told me. Haku, then I'll get the grapes and blueberries. Naruto, and I'm going for the special grass and the forest berries and they have to be from the forest, okay. Haku, yes. After that, Naruto and Haku separated to search for Kurama's gifts. Kurama had already woken up and was talking to the clones, who were transformed into Haku but not into Naruto since he was already like that. Kurama thought they had forgotten that they had told him yesterday to celebrate his birthday, so he got a little sad and he didn't know why. Naruto had already found the berries but not the special herb that Kurama had told him about. But he wasn't going to give up so easily. Haku, on the other hand, had already found the grapes and blackberries, but it was a bit difficult since sometimes there weren't many. A few minutes passed and Naruto found what he was looking for. He took a large square of the special herb and put it in a scroll. Then he went to the Hokage Hall where the 2 clones and Haku were waiting for him, ready to go.
Haku, well, we already have the flower, the blackberries, grapes, berries, and the special herb. Now all that's left is to decorate the house, but how do we get Kurama-sama to leave? Naruto, I think I have an idea. Naruto went with Haku to the house where the clones were. Haku then approached the clone and told them to take Kurama with them, which they did. Naruto, okay, now all we have left to do is decorate the house and put the presents on one side. Haku, you're right, let's go. Haku and Naruto began decorating the house while placing the gifts on the table. Then Naruto created a clone to make Kurama's cake. When they had everything ready, the clones arrived with Kurama, who was a little tired from running around. But when Kurama saw the house, a tear involuntarily escaped him. Haku/Naruto, happy birthday Kurama, Kurama, so they did remember. Naruto, of course we will, how could we forget to celebrate your first birthday even if we don't know the real date, we'll celebrate it for you. Kurama, thanks brat. Haku, well, Kurama-sama, blow out the candle and make a wish. Kurama approached the cake looking very happy while Naruto and Haku also looked at him. Kurama, I wish they would never separate me from Naruto. Then Kurama blew out the candles on the cake, and after that, Naruto and Haku gave him his presents. Kurama ate the rare flower because it gave him more speed. He ate the grapes, blackberries, and berries but left some. Then he ate the special herb which he used to lie down and roll around in like a little dog. After celebrating a lot, it got dark, so they tidied everything up and went to bed. Naruto, hey Kurama, did you like the surprise? Kurama, yes, I liked it. Naruto, and what did you order? Kurama, Gaki, that's not something you ask, otherwise it won't come true. Naruto, okay. After that, Naruto and Kurama fell asleep next to each other. Chapter 28. The narrator narrates. Days had passed. Naruto sometimes ran into Sasuke in various places, and whenever he saw him, his heart would race. It didn't help that Sasuke would smile at him, causing Naruto to run away so he wouldn't see him blush. Naruto began to ignore Sasuke to better reflect on his feelings for the Uchiha, though this made him somewhat sad because he missed the time Sasuke smiled at him or teased him. Sasuke, for his part, didn't understand the blonde's attitude, and it annoyed him greatly that whenever he tried to approach Sasuke, he would simply run away or disappear in a puff of smoke. But Naruto had trained hard these past few days. He learned his father's techniques and even perfected the Rasengan, transforming it into a giant Rasengan or the Rasen Shuriken. However, he wasn't ready for that yet. First, he needed to train his chakra more because he could only perform one attack at a time before collapsing from exhaustion. Now let's jump to the present where the next matches would begin today. A week had passed since they were given a break in training. Naruto had also been training. Knowing Jiraiya, who was his godfather, they had had some issues in certain parts of the village with the women, but that was because Jiraiya wanted to see them. Anyway, the Toad Sannin gave Naruto the Toad contract, which his father had also held before dying. Naruto was now walking to the place where the fights were going to be held, although the villagers would also be there to watch. When he arrived, he saw the remaining participants, but he couldn't find Sasuke anywhere. This meant that Kakashi had been training him these last few days. Anyway, he stood next to Gaara, who started looking at him out of the corner of his eye. He didn't know why, but he felt like he wanted to talk to him, but his pride wouldn't let him. Anyway, the participants who weren't fighting started leaving only Naruto and Neji in the fighting arena looking at each other. Height, who was about to announce the start of the fight, was interrupted by a cloud of smoke where Sasuke and Kakashi were. When Naruto saw the Uchiha, he got nervous and looked away, but Sasuke, who was looking out of the corner of his eye, he approached him and whispered something in his ear that made Naruto shudder, after which Sasuke and Kakashi left. Height, well, now the exchange between Naruto Uzumaki and Neji Hyuga begins. At that moment, all the villagers began to glare at Naruto, even throwing things at him like glass bottles. They also said a lot of hurtful things to him, which surprised many who didn't know how they treated him, but he acted as if he didn't care, though inside it hurt him deeply. Neji was a little confused, but he put it aside. Height, are you ready, Naruto/Neji? And yes. Height, begin. At that moment, Naruto assumed a fighting stance, as did Neji. Then Naruto created a shadow clone that attacked Neji, while the original created more clones. Neji smiled arrogantly, thinking Naruto didn't really know what he was doing. He then faced the blonde clone who was putting up a fight, but with one swift move, Neji defeated it. He then saw 100 of Naruto's clones in fighting positions, with the original in the middle of them all. Neji didn't know this, so he activated his Byakugan. What he saw left him stunned, as the clones all had the same chakra and he couldn't distinguish them from the original. Then 5 of Naruto's clones attacked him as they were merely a distraction. Naruto controlled the adamantine chains that ran beneath the earth, then grabbed Neji by the feet and pressed him into the ground, leaving only his head visible. His clones were instructed to impersonate him while he transformed into a small stone. Naruto, give up, I already beat you.
Everyone started booing Naruto, accusing him of cheating, while his friends glared at him, knowing full well that he hadn't cheated at all. Everything was legal. Neji then left the area and punched Naruto's clone, which had exploded in a puff of smoke. He then proceeded to attack all the clones, but there was no sign of Naruto. Everyone was stunned until a rock, which was actually Naruto, exploded in a cloud of smoke. Neji was then punched in the chin, a sight that shocked everyone. After recovering, he looked Naruto in the eyes. Neji, you can't beat me. Destiny has already said that I will be the winner. Naruto, I'm sorry, but I don't believe that destiny is written, I create it. Neji, no one can create their own destiny. We all already have one and we have to follow it without question. But what does it matter? You wouldn't know what it's like to lose someone if you didn't have parents. You don't know who they are. Naruto, yes, it's true I don't have parents and I never had them to tell me what's good or what's bad. I've always been alone, but don't say I don't know anything about losing someone because I do know. I lost many dear people who had become close to me, but they died. Do you know why? Neji, why? Naruto, because they deserved it, but I never did anything to them. It was the people who were supposed to protect me who did it. Do you know what it's like to almost be raped a bunch of times and be afraid to sleep in the woods?
Neji. Chapter 29. The narrator narrates.
Naruto, you don't know how hard it was for me to live like that in a village where no one could hear your screams, because that's how it is. I left Konoha to train, but I suffered too. My training was hell just like my teachers who watched me collapse on the ground from exhaustion, but that made me strong. I had to learn to protect myself from many people and control certain aspects of my body that drove some people crazy. But of course, I don't know anything about that like you say, do I, Neji? Neji, and shut up, at least you don't have a mark that will follow you forever. Naruto, a mark. I have a lot of marks that many people here made, but I don't want to say names since that's in the past. Or do any of you remember a noisy blonde boy who was a kid here? When Naruto said that, everyone started remembering that blonde Naruto since they had always seen him, but they thought it was impossible and that he just had something in his hair that made it look red. Naruto, if that kid was me. The villagers started saying a lot of things to him again, like you killed my family or you killed my sister who was expecting a child, that kind of thing. Naruto, everything you're saying is a lie because I don't know your family. Besides, I think you're mistaking me for someone else, aren't you, Kurama? At that moment, Kurama leaped into the fighting arena, revealing his characteristic 9 tails. Everyone assumed a fighting stance, while the villagers stared in terror at the little ball of fur that was Kurama, the 9-tailed fox. Naruto, all this time they mistook me for Kurama, but you know I don't hold any remorse against Kurama for killing my parents. I forgive him for the things he did a long time ago. Kurama, thank you, kid. At that point, everyone calmed down since Naruto had made Kurama enter him again, but they were still a little distrustful. Naruto, this is a bigger mark than yours because since I was a child I had to endure people's hatred, and they accused me of things I didn't do. Living on the streets at 3 years old was the worst thing that could have happened to me because they always beat me, leaving me in a pool of my own blood, and now you'll see what I'm really like. Naruto took off his shirt, revealing a bunch of very horrible scars, but there was one that would leave everyone frozen in their tracks, and that was the one near his heart. His heart raced. Naruto, the scar near my heart was my 3rd birthday present from the villagers. Do you want me to continue? Naruto's eyes looked lifeless, devoid of any emotion, before he vanished and reappeared behind Neji, who struck him on the back. He then removed his headband from his forehead, revealing one of the Uzumaki seals given to the Hyuga clan in case anyone betrayed them. Naruto, one more thing, we'll have to talk about the one who took the Hyuga clan seal, because if I remember correctly, that seal belongs to my clan and it wasn't meant to enslave the branch family, but rather to place that seal on those who betrayed them. Where the spectators were, Hyuga was stunned to hear that since no one in the family knew. Naruto, whatever. Naruto slowly approached Neji, making hand gestures, and then said something inaudible. Neji's forehead began to glow, and when it stopped, Neji was seen without the seal, which surprised many but especially Neji. Naruto, now we're going to fight. Neji, yes. Neji, like Naruto, assumed a battle stance, but Naruto, not wanting to rush things since they had more fights to come, decided to finish the fight in one fell swoop. He unleashed his adamantine chains and charged towards Neji, but because Neji didn't know what those chains did, he couldn't dodge them and ended up trapped. The chains began to absorb his chakra, but Naruto didn't stop there. Instead, he knocked Neji unconscious. Hey, winner Naruto Uzumaki. Then Naruto put his chains away again. He was happy to be doing something good for someone, so he lifted him up and placed him on the doctor's stretcher. The doctors thanked Naruto for his help, but Naruto didn't say anything. He just smiled and went to the stands to join his friends, but before he could reach them, someone grabbed his wrist and pinned him against the wall. Naruto was about to say something, but he fell silent when he realized who it was.
It was.
Narrator, well, I don't think it's a surprise who that someone is, do you? Naruto, of course it's no surprise who it is. Just then a wild Sasuke enters looking for something which makes Naruto nervous. Naruto, why did you bring him? Sasuke, hello Naruto, where were you? I couldn't find you anywhere. Naruto, I was talking to Hinata and then I came here. Narrator, yeah, whatever Sasuke, are you happy that I'm pairing you up with Naruto? Sasuke, yes, but when will the part come where I buck him like crazy? Naruto. Narrator, we'll see about that, now go, I'm busy. Naruto, busy? I'd say you're thinking about how Sasuke's going to pound me hard against the wall while I'm going to be sore afterwards. Narrator, don't relax, that's not it. After Naruto and Sasuke magically reunited, I was left alone in my room staring at the door before finally reacting. Narrator, well, you tell me in the comments if you want Sasuke to beat Naruto hard against the wall. Chapter 30. The narrator narrates. Naruto stood with his back to the wall, staring at the boy who made him nervous just by looking at him. Those black eyes held mystery, yet also sparkled when he saw the blonde boy happy, that smile that could make some people faint, especially those who might be in love with him. But anyway, that boy was Sasuke Uchiha, looking at him with those black eyes that could see right through you if they could, but let's not get sidetracked. Naruto was cornered against the wall, Sasuke's arms pinned against it, but in the middle stood Naruto looking at him, very surprised but also a little flushed. It was hard to see though because it was a bit dark and Naruto was grateful for that. But the thing is, they were in a somewhat awkward silence for Naruto, while Sasuke thought about what to say until he finally spoke. Sasuke, is that true? Naruto, what? Sasuke, you almost got raped. Naruto, yes, but luckily a woman was there and saved me. She was from another village just like those men, but since there were more of them than us, I took her hand and we ran until we lost them among the trees and bushes. Why? Sasuke, it's nothing, it's just that I get so angry when I hear that and can't be there to protect you. Naruto, hey, you shouldn't feel like that. Besides, I was on my own, far from my village, and it was very inappropriate of me to ask who was there without even knowing how to fight. It would have been better to have stayed quiet instead of talking and letting those men find me and grab me. Sasuke, where? Naruto, can you be more specific? Sasuke, where did they touch you? Naruto, they didn't touch me much, just my stomach area, and one was kissing my neck while the other bit my left earlobe, although they also touched my thighs. When Naruto finished speaking, he was about to ask why Sasuke wanted to know about it, but he fell silent when he felt Sasuke's hands touch his thighs. But instead of being bothered like when that man touched him without his permission, he actually liked the touch of the Uchiha's hands, but that didn't mean he hadn't shuddered. Sasuke, don't you like it? Naruto, and no, it's not that, it's just that you surprised me. Sasuke, don't worry, I just want to touch where those bastards touched you, so you only feel like I'm the one touching you. Sasuke began to run his hands over Naruto's stomach, tracing the contours of his toned abdomen and chest, which wasn't much to look at even though he wished it were. Then he started leaving wet kisses on Naruto's neck, making him sigh. Afterward, he nipped at Naruto's left earlobe, causing Naruto to shudder again. Sasuke then pulled away from Naruto, having heard that it was Sasuke's turn to fight Gaara of Suna. He started walking but felt someone hug him from behind since there was no one else around. That someone was Naruto, who looked a little worried. Naruto, be careful, that kid gives me bad vibes. Sasuke, okay, if you say so, I'll have it. Sasuke turned around, cupped Naruto's face in his hands, and kissed him on the lips before leaving Naruto in shock from what they had just done. When Naruto recovered, he went to watch Sasuke's fight, which was very close, except that Gaara used his sand to protect himself. Gaara then noticed Naruto's presence and stared at him intently, which confused Naruto since he felt a connection with him. But that must be because of Kurama. The thing is, why didn't he get along with his Biju? He was going to ask Kurama about that later. For now, he would concentrate on watching the fight. Sasuke, however, was very annoyed when he saw Gaara staring at Naruto. He went all out, unleashing a Chidori and then running towards Gaara, who was distracted. But when he heard something close to his ear, he reacted and moved away from Sasuke to look at him. Sasuke, shouldn't you be focused on the fight? Gaara, yes, but I'm really curious about that blonde boy. What was his name? Sasuke, Naruto. Gaara, if he catches my attention, it's because he has something that not many others have. He's like me, we're both monsters who only live to be weapons. My monster is as real as his, and if they get in our way, it will only lead them to certain death. Sasuke, you're wrong, Naruto, he's not like that. He's a good person, always looking for a way to be happy. Sometimes he's funny and a good friend. No, he's much more than that. But it has nothing to do with the words you're using. He's not a monster or a demon. He's a person like everyone else, a very special person. When Sasuke finished saying that, people in the stands stared at Naruto, more than surprised, until his sapphire blue eyes began to well up with tears. After that, they started fighting again, though Naruto was still crying, but only a little. What Sasuke said made him very happy since he was a different person who didn't look at him like that, like a monster. But then white feathers started appearing, but Naruto removed them with a jutsu. In the end, the feathers couldn't do what they wanted, but then. Chapter 31. The narrator narrates. The box where Hiruzen was standing had exploded, so Naruto became worried and went there. But then he saw Sasuke heading towards Gaara, so now he didn't know where to go. He decided to create a blood clone and went to Hiruzen since his blood clone was as strong as him. The original Naruto went after Sasuke and Gaara, accompanied by Kiba and Shikamaru, and Sakura joined them. On the way, they encountered Kankuro, who was waiting to stop them, but he hadn't counted on being followed by many others. Kiba stayed behind to fight while the others continued. They were almost at Sasuke and Gaara when they ran into Temari with her fan. Shikamaru stayed behind to fight, while Naruto and Sakura continued on. After quickly leaping through the trees, they arrived at the place where a fight was taking place that Sasuke might not win. Before Sasuke could be struck, Naruto stepped in front of him, taking the blow. He directed it towards him, but that never happened. Instead of feeling the impact of the sand, he didn't actually feel anything, so he opened his eyes and saw that the sand had stopped. Then he heard Gaara's voice speaking. "Gaara, stay away if you don't want to die." "Naruto, no, your fight now will be with me beast to beast. What do you say, Shukaku?" This surprised Gaara as no one knew about it except those from Suna, so hearing someone talk about it left him wide-eyed. Sasuke was watching Naruto, a little worried that something might happen to him, while Sakura looked at Sasuke with concern. She approached him, took his arm, and pulled him a little further away while Naruto and Gaara looked at each other. "Gaara, who told you that?" "Naruto, no one in particular, just Shukaku's brother Kurama, he told me." "Gaara, so Shukaku has a brother." "Naruto, well, Shukaku has a lot of older siblings, but Kurama is the oldest of them all because he has the most tails." Gaara didn't understand much now, but he didn't care and began attacking Naruto, who dodged every blow Gaara threw at him with his sand. Then Temari and Kankuro arrived to see what was happening, but Kiba and Shikamaru also arrived to see what was going on. "Naruto, why don't you get along with Shukaku?" "Gaara, I don't know, why don't you ask him?" "Naruto, good idea, Kurama, you can talk to Shukaku while I take care of Gaara." "Kurama's okay, Gakai." While Naruto was fighting Gaara, Kurama was trying to reason with his little brother Shukaku, but he hadn't succeeded. So they were going to have to force Shukaku to reason, so Naruto started creating his clones to then make a plan. "Naruto, summer is the only thing I can do and I hope it works." Naruto moved slightly away from Gaara while his clones created a distraction to buy Naruto some time, leaving those watching the fight confused. "Kiba, Shikamaru, do you know what Naruto is doing?" "Shikamaru, I'd like to say yes, but I haven't the slightest idea." "Kiba, Sakura and Sasuke are over there. Let's go to them, maybe they know something." "Shikamaru, yes." Shikamaru and Kiba approached Sakura and Sasuke, while Temari and Kankuro were also asking themselves the same question as Kiba. "Shikamaru, guys, do you know anything about what Naruto wants to do now?" "Sakura, the truth is I haven't the slightest idea." "Sasuke, me neither, but we'll have to trust that Naruto can do it." "Kiba, is it really that good?" "Sasuke, yes, I'm fine, just a little tired." "Sakura, yes, and you, Kiba/Shikamaru also." Then they looked over at where the two boys were fighting. Naruto closed his eyes and concentrated, then pulled out a bunch of chains and started creating a barrier around himself. But then Naruto spat blood and fell to one knee, worrying his friends but especially Sasuke. "Naruto, I'm sorry, but I won't let you escape." Gaara, who saw the end of Naruto's barrier, wanted to leave but couldn't. He tried to destroy it with a giant sand fist, but nothing worked. The barrier suffered no damage. "Naruto, you're wasting your time, cough cough cough, you won't be able to get out of here even if you use any powerful jutsu. The barrier won't break. It's something only the Uzumakis can do though, cough cough cough. I never imagined it would be so painful to do this." Naruto kept spitting blood since he wasn't used to producing so many chains. He was used to only producing 4 but not so many. Then Gaara started producing a lot of sand, then took the form of Shukaku and then released it. "Shukaku, finally I'm free." Temari and Kankuro wanted to leave, but they couldn't because they were inside the barrier. However, they hadn't counted on Naruto being able to pull out more chains and send them back to Shukaku, which remained immobile. But Naruto was covered in even more blood than before, scaring his friends even more. "Naruto, didn't I tell you cough cough, then I'll have to do it. Amazio no Kusari." Chains of the demonic statue. Orange chains with fox heads emerged from Naruto's back and ensnared Shukaku, causing him to scream in pain. But instead of coughing up blood, Naruto seemed to be vomiting blood, as a lot of blood was running from his mouth. "Naruto, now then Shukaku, either you behave or I'll make you suffer even more than you already are. These chains are very dangerous for a tailed beast like you, so either you cooperate with me or I'll force you to cooperate. What do you say?" Shukaku. Chapter 32. The narrator narrates. "Shukaku, fine, I'll cooperate, but take these chains off me." Temari and Kankuro couldn't believe it. Shukaku was obeying Naruto just because of some chains. "Shukaku, if my brother had told me you were in Uzumaki, I wouldn't have refused to help you." Naruto pulled Shukaku's chains out, falling to his knees with his hands outstretched as Shukaku and his body vanished. Gaara's body then fell, but he was caught by his two brothers while Naruto's friends rushed to his aid. "Kiba, Naruto, are you okay?" Naruto, yeah, it's just that doing this barrier and using the no Kyusai weakened me, plus I'm not used to pulling out so many chains cough cough and it hurts a lot to do that. Sasuke helped Naruto to his feet, but since Naruto couldn't stand due to the pain, Sasuke lifted him up princess style, which didn't bother him at all. In fact, he enjoyed it, as did Naruto. However, the barrier remained, so Naruto wanted to go and talk to them before they escaped, which is why he decided to leave the barrier standing. Temari, what do you want? Naruto, calm down, I just want to talk to Gaara. Temari, about what? Gaara, so Temari, what do you want to talk about? Naruto, it's about Shukaku. I know that when you're in that state you can't remember anything, and I know because I was in that state before too. Anyway, Shukaku won't bother you anymore, he'll actually help you, but if he does anything against Gaara, just tell me so I can control him. Gaara, thank you Naruto, but why are you so strong? Naruto, I'm strong because I train every day to become even stronger and protect my loved ones. Gaara, I understand. Naruto, you could do it too, you have your brothers who support you in everything, right? Gaara stared at Naruto wide-eyed, then looked at his brothers and realized Naruto was right. He did have his brothers after all. Naruto dispelled the barrier so everyone could leave, but when he did he collapsed, coughing up blood. His friends rushed to the hospital since Paku, who had also witnessed the fight, told them everything was all right and that the Hokage was also there, slightly injured. When they arrived, the doctors saw Naruto coughing up a lot of blood in Sasuke Uchiha's arms. When Naruto's friends pleaded for help, the doctors refused, but Kakashi arrived and forced them to. The doctors then took Naruto away while his friends sat and waited. Later, the rest of the generation and Lee's team arrived to check on Naruto, but the doctors didn't come out. Kakashi, who did that to Naruto to leave him like that? Kiba, he actually did it himself. Ino, but why? Shikamaru, to prevent those Suna ninjas from escaping with someone who has a tailed beast or something like that, I heard Naruto created a barrier with his chains, but then he started coughing up blood. He then created more chains to grab this Shukaku guy, or whatever his name is, and then Kiba, he did something with other chains of a different color, some orange ones with a fox's head on them, and he caught that Shukaku who started screaming in pain. Apparently it was a one-tailed beast, supposedly Naruto said, but that this beast had more siblings like the nine-tailed fox, and Naruto began to control Shukaku. Kakashi, did you say nine-tailed fox? Kiba, if there's a problem. Kakashi, no, nothing. I need to talk to the Hokage about this after he wakes up. Everyone started gathering news about Naruto since Kakashi went to talk to Hiruzen until a doctor came out looking a little tired. But the first to approach was a very worried Sasuke. Sasuke, how is Naruto? Doctor, well, he's fine, but if he had continued what he was doing, he could have been in a coma for a few days due to exhaustion now. He's awake. Without another word, Sasuke entered the room where Naruto was staring at the wall, his gaze lost in thought. Sasuke approached him. The others who had remained outside had decided to leave them alone as Sasuke looked genuinely worried. Although Sakura wanted to enter, the others wouldn't let her and forcibly took her away. Sasuke, Naruto, are you okay? Naruto, yeah, my back just hurts and I'm exhausted. Sasuke, do you want me to bring you some ramen? Suddenly Naruto's eyes lit up with stars and he looked at Sasuke holding his hands. Naruto, you'd really bring it to me. Sasuke, yes, anything for the boy who saved my life. Naruto, there are. Sasuke, are you okay? Is something wrong or does something hurt? Tell me so I can get the doctors. Naruto, ha 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 ha, Sasuke, you should listen to yourself. Seriously, it's really funny, but I'm fine, it just hurt when I moved, that's all, nothing to worry about. Sasuke, okay, I'll bring your ramen. Sasuke had left, leaving Naruto alone with a slightly silly smile before looking out the window. It was already night. Naruto, I seem to have slept too much. Kurama, well, that's what you deserved, kid, after that. Naruto, yes, I think so. After waiting a while, Sasuke arrived with ramen and a box of tomatoes as he apparently didn't want to leave Naruto alone that night. He asked a nurse if he could stay and the nurse, simply because it was Sasuke, allowed it. Sasuke and Naruto began eating together, chatting animatedly. When they finished, Sasuke lay down on one of the beds and they both fell asleep. But around midnight, they heard Naruto having a terrible nightmare. So Sasuke got up and lay down next to Naruto, wrapping his arms around his waist and pulling him closer. He rested Naruto's head on his chest where Naruto relaxed, enjoying Sasuke's scent. And so they slept together. Chapter 33. The narrator narrates. Naruto was waking up but was surprised to see someone sleeping with him in their arms, so he looked up and saw Sasuke sleeping very peacefully. He blushed a little because he thought he looked very cute asleep like that. Naruto, he looks too peaceful when he sleeps. Naruto placed his hand on Sasuke's cheek, but then he saw those black eyes staring at him. So Naruto did what anyone would do when nervous, cover his head completely with the sheets. Sasuke started to laugh softly with that raspy voice that suggested he had just woken up, but then he took Naruto by the hip and pulled him closer. Since Naruto was covered with the sheets, you couldn't see the blush on his face.
Sasuke, good day, Naruto. Naruto, gee, good mornings. Sasuke, you were having nightmares last night. What were you dreaming about? Naruto remained silent, for it was true, he didn't like sleeping alone. He had grown accustomed to Kurama sleeping with him to avoid nightmares, but because the nine-tailed fox was inside him, he didn't sleep that night due to his nightmares. That's why Sasuke lay down beside him and calmed down. Sasuke, and will you tell me or not, Naruto, Sasuke, Naruto, I don't want you to lie to me. Naruto, I dreamt about the villagers beating me up. I've been having these nightmares, so don't worry, I'm fine. Sasuke, I don't believe you, Naruto. I know you want to act strong, but inside that strong person I see a child who is hurt and alone, so don't say I shouldn't worry. I want you to be happy. Naruto, Sasuke, thank you. Sasuke, you don't have to thank me. Does your back still hurt? Naruto, not anymore. When Sasuke heard that, he gave a lopsided smile, then lifted Naruto on top of him to see his blush since he was still covered with the sheets. Naruto, Sasuke, what are you doing? Sasuke, nothing, I just wanted to see your blushing face. I find it cute. You're always frowning or serious. Sometimes you even smile, but I've never seen you blush. Naruto, it's because I'm embarrassed when people look at me like that. That's why I never do it. Sasuke, now you're doing it and I just want to see you like this. Naruto, well, only you will see me this way then. Sasuke, that's more like it. Sasuke grabbed Naruto's rear end with both hands, pulling him closer. Naruto let out a muffled moan before kissing Sasuke on the lips. They stayed like that for a few minutes until they broke apart for lack of air. Then Naruto stood up, as did Sasuke, so they could leave since Naruto didn't like being in hospitals. They started walking through the streets of Konoha where they ran into their friends who approached them when they saw them. Kiba, Naruto, what are you doing here? Ino, shouldn't you be recovering in the hospital? Naruto, don't worry, I'm fine. Besides, I've already recovered, otherwise I wouldn't be walking. Hinata, I'm glad that you're okay, Naruto-kun. Kiba, we were worried about how we brought you to the hospital and how much blood you were losing from your mouth. Naruto, well, as I already told you, doing that left me feeling really bad because I'm not used to taking out so many chains and it hurts a lot afterwards. Read Naruto, your flames of youth are burning alive. Naruto, well, although I want you to know something that nobody knows yet, not even the Hokage. Sakura, and what is that? Naruto, I am a young man. Everyone except Naruto, what? Hinata, and what is that? Naruto, a donsal is someone who can bring life into the world, in other words, get pregnant. I have some female parts, but they're not visible because I'm inside an inject. Even though I have Uzumaki blood, my hair is still blonde because being a donsal, my hair color can't change. I just put an inject on my whole body and this is me. When Naruto undid the spell, a somewhat thin boy appeared. His hair was blonde like the sun itself, his eyes were sapphire blue but with a touch of tenderness, his skin was pale but looked like porcelain, so soft you were afraid to touch it because it seemed like it would break if you did. His rear end was somewhat formed, and his clothes were now too big for him. Everyone started looking at him, and when I say everyone, I mean everyone, even the villagers who were walking by. But the men with a noticeable blush, especially Sasuke, and the women looked at him with faces that said they wanted to devour him with kisses because of how cute he was. Ino, Naruto, you're so cute, I want to eat you up with kisses. Hinata, why yes, you're too cute. Sakura, too cute for this world. Kia. The girls fainted with a little blood on their noses and a blush that Naruto, being so innocent, didn't understand, but the others did. Naruto, guys, I think they fainted from the news. Kiba, I don't think that's why. Naruto, I think. But he couldn't finish because everyone covered his mouth so he wouldn't spoil Naruto's innocence. Sasuke, you see that Naruto has an innocent mind, you idiot. Kiba, well, you really want to eat it, Sasuke. Naruto, eat. Sasuke, are you hungry? Sasuke, yeah, why don't we go eat ramen, Naruto? What do you think? Upon hearing the word ramen, Naruto's eyes lit up and he dragged Sasuke along to Ikaraku while the other boys watched with anime-style sweat drops on their necks, amused by Naruto's innocence. But there was nothing they could do. When Naruto and Sasuke arrived at Ikaraku, they ordered 2 bowls of ramen. After they finished, the Uchiha paid for everything and then the two left. When they arrived at Naruto's house, Sasuke said goodbye with a quick kiss on the lips and left, while Naruto watched him go. Once out of sight, he went inside, where lunch was already waiting with a note saying they had gone on a mission. Naruto put the food away, having already eaten, and then went to his room. Kurama came out to sleep with him and they both fell asleep. Chapter 34. The narrator narrates. Naruto had been training very hard since morning until he decided to take a break. So he went inside the house and sat on the living room couch to rest a bit until he heard a knock at the door. So he got up and went to open it to find Sasuke. Naruto, Sasuke, good morning, what brings you here? Sasuke, the guys decided to have a picnic today and sent me to find you. Naruto, okay, wait a minute while I take a shower and change. If you want, you can come in and wait for me. Sasuke, okay.
Sasuke entered Naruto's house and sat on the couch while Naruto went upstairs to his room to take a 15-minute shower. When he came out, he put this on. Naruto had already gone downstairs to see Sasuke, who was still sitting on the couch, so he decided to stand in front of him. Naruto, is this okay? Sasuke, you look very cute. Naruto, thanks, I honestly didn't know what to wear since I've never been invited on a picnic before, so it's going to be my first time and I'm really excited. Sasuke, I'm glad you know that some people don't know about your true appearance. Only 5 people whose memories I erased thanks to my Awaken Sharigan, right? Naruto, well, I was thinking of putting on a headband and taking it off when we get to the guys. Sasuke, that sounds like a good idea to me. Naruto activated his signature move and they went to the picnic. On the way, Naruto told Sasuke how excited he was to go on his first picnic with his friends, while Sasuke listened attentively, sometimes not taking his eyes off Naruto as he spoke. When they arrived at the place, it was very beautiful and deserted, perfect for Naruto to be himself. As they approached his friends, Naruto activated his signature move. By the way, they finally arrived. We thought something had happened to them. Naruto, not only that I had to take a shower and all that because I was training this morning. Kiba, so that's why it took so long. Naruto, also because I didn't know what to wear since it's the first time I've been invited on a picnic. Your first time. Naruto, yeah, normally everyone would stay away from me when I went to the forest, and well, sometimes they'd leave food behind, hehe. Kiba, what, Naruto, yeah, I think my presence bothered them because they were going somewhere else. How cruels. Kiba, if... Naruto, well, that doesn't matter anymore. Did we come here to have fun or to learn about me? Everyone, let's have fun. Everyone started bringing out the food and the boys started playing fights while the girls talked about things. Naruto, and why can't I go fight with the others? Because you're part woman, so you should tell us things like who do you like? Naruto, that's a secret. Hey Naruto, don't be mean and tell us who do you like? Naruto, my lips are so sealed. Okay, and Sakura, who do you like? Sakura, well, you already know that, but I'll say it anyway, I like Sasuke-kun. Upon hearing that name, Naruto tensed up since Sakura didn't know he had kissed Sasuke, but she let it go. Then also mentioned liking Sasuke and the two fangirls started fighting. Naruto, Hinata, and you, who are you in love with? Hinata blushed upon hearing that and Sakura and stopped fighting to listen. Hinata, I like Kibi-kun. Naruto, really, Hinata, why yes. Naruto, well, I hope you have good luck. Hinata, thank you Naruto-kun. Everyone started eating happily, having a great time, until Kiba made Naruto angry. Kiba, I seriously don't understand why you chose that hair color. You look like a living tomato. Naruto's team, who already knew how Naruto reacted when they made fun of his clan's red hair, moved away a bit, as did Kurama, but he also grabbed the others, leaving a very confused Kiba and an angry Naruto. Naruto, why do they always have to make fun of my clan's hair color? Well, now Kiba, you're more than dead. Kiba, what's wrong? The others, who were also watching without understanding, decided to ask, Chaoji, what's wrong? Why are we moving away? Sasuke, if there's one thing we learned from Naruto, it's that you shouldn't make him angry. Sakura, none of her clan just because of her hair color. And why not? Sasuke, well, because that bothers them, and well, the last time we saw him angry was when a ninja from another village tried to attack us and made fun of Naruto's hair color. Sakura, and he left them unconscious in pain, and the other time we were at Tazuna's house, one of those people who had paid us to protect him, Naruto arrived covered in blood and with remains of body parts that belonged to people. Sasuke, and he had told us that if he left with them because they called him a tomato. Shikamaru, really, Sakura, yes. Shikamaru, what a nuisance. Sakura, that's why you shouldn't anger any red-haired Uzumaki like Naruto. I understand. Everyone looked at poor Kiba, who still didn't understand anything. Sakura, I'll take care of making his grave. And I'm into flowers. Chaoji, poor Kiba, I even feel sorry for him now. Kiba, know that you were a great friend. We're all going to miss you and we hope you rest in peace. Everyone started praying for Kiba and saying he was a great ninja, while Kiba yelled a bunch of things at them until he saw Naruto take out his chains, which trapped him and then slammed him against the ground a bunch of times until he used him as a punching bag, all in full view of everyone, who got a bead of sweat on their foreheads and turned pale at how Naruto could be when he got angry. Hinata, Naruto-kun is scary when he gets angry. Sakura, Hinata, that's nothing. Naruto is just holding back. What? That's impossible. Sakura, yes, when I heard it I reacted the same way, but it's the truth. Shikamaru, guys, have you ever wondered what Naruto would be like when he gets really angry? Everyone except Shikamaru, we never want to know. After Naruto beat up Kiba, they all went home since it was already night. When Naruto got home, he was already full from what he had eaten, so he didn't eat and went straight to bed to sleep with Kurama on top of him. Chapter 35. Naruto narrates. I was having breakfast with Kurama, Haku, and Zabuza, who had returned successfully from his mission. Afterward, I washed my plate and left home to train in the Forest of Death. On the way, I ran into Sasuke, who was buying some ninja weapons. I decided to keep walking as if I'd never seen him, but unfortunately, he noticed me and started following me. When I stopped at the fence of the Forest of Death, where Sasuke also jumped over, I began walking toward my training area. Sasuke had hidden in some bushes. Naruto, Sasuke, I know you're here, the narrator narrates. Sasuke had forgotten that Naruto was a censor, so he mentally slapped himself for forgetting that small but important detail about the blonde. Without further ado, he left his hiding place while Naruto watched him with amusement. Naruto, why were you following me? Sasuke, well, I was curious to know what you were doing. Naruto, but I wasn't doing anything, and I'm not doing anything yet either. Sasuke, yes, I know that, but since you didn't greet me, I thought you were angry with me. Naruto, I'm not angry with you, I was just distracted by the training I have to do. Sasuke, okay. So what were you and the girls talking about yesterday at the picnic? Naruto, well, we only liked that kind of guys. Sasuke, and what did you say? Naruto, I'm sorry but my lips are sealed. Sasuke, oh yeah, Naruto, yes. Sasuke was getting closer to Naruto and Kurama, seeing this, did his thing. Instead of helping Naruto, who was looking at him with a face that seemed to want his help, he went to sit on a tree branch and watch what was happening while Naruto mentally cursed him. Sasuke was getting closer, but Naruto was walking backward until he crashed into a tree, and Sasuke took advantage of that to grab him and look him in the eyes. Sasuke, you're not going to tell me. Naruto, I don't know what you're talking about. Sasuke, who do you like? Naruto, this kid isn't going to talk. His lips are sealed and no one can make him speak. Sasuke, we'll see about that. Sasuke began to leave wet kisses along Naruto's neck, who shuddered and sighed. Then Sasuke began to kiss Naruto's lips, who opened his eyes in surprise. Sasuke grabbed Naruto by the waist and pulled him closer, while the blonde with sapphire blue eyes wrapped his arms around the raven-haired boy's neck, who smiled between kisses before pulling away and whispering in his right ear. Sasuke, you still won't tell me. Naruto. Sasuke, you turned out to be very stubborn. Sasuke bit Naruto's right earlobe, eliciting only a moan. Then he continued with kisses on his neck that thrilled Naruto, who could no longer resist and decided to speak. Naruto, I'll talk, but stop doing that. Sasuke, I'm all ears. Naruto, the boy I like is as well, it's you. Sasuke, you're the one I like. Upon hearing that, Sasuke became happy and kissed Naruto, who didn't quite understand what was happening or what Sasuke was thinking. Naruto, and that kiss. Sasuke, hey Naruto, you're so oblivious, don't you realize that kiss is because I like you too? Naruto, are really? Sasuke, yes, or wasn't I very clear about what I did that day when I asked you where you had been touched or when I asked you to kiss me? It's because you drive me crazy, I always think about you, and it makes me angry to think that you could be with someone else. Naruto s. Sasuke, do you hate me for having the nine-tailed fox? Sasuke, who cares if you have it inside you? Not me, and if others do, well, screw them because I love you. Sasuke began kissing Naruto again, who was overjoyed to hear that Sasuke loved him as much as he loved him. They broke the kiss and sat on the grass talking, though they occasionally kissed or touched each other, but that was all. After spending the entire day like that, they had to leave as night had fallen. Sasuke said goodbye to Naruto at the door and then left. Naruto went inside his house, where Kurama was teasing him about Sasuke. Naruto, you can stop now. Kurama, it's not because I knew you two would end up together. It's because you could tell from miles away that the Uchiha was in love with you. Naruto, well, I hadn't noticed. After Kurama finished bothering Naruto while he was cooking, they started eating with Haku and Zabuza, who didn't understand anything that was going on. Anyway, they washed the dishes and everyone went to their rooms, while Naruto and Kurama lay down as usual, Kurama on top of Naruto's stomach. Chapter 36. The narrator narrates. Naruto was already having breakfast peacefully at home when he heard a knock at the door, so he went to open it and saw Sasuke smiling at him. Naruto, good morning. Sasuke, good morning, Dobi. Naruto let Sasuke into the house. They went to the living room and both sat on the couch, but Naruto created a clone to go wash the dishes. Naruto, do you want something to drink? Sasuke, actually, I didn't just come to see you. Naruto, so you just wanted to see me. Naruto wanted Sasuke to kiss him, but when he heard Sasuke say he'd only come to see him, he felt a little sad. Then Sasuke approached Naruto and started kissing his neck. He then began kissing Naruto's beautiful lips, which drove him crazy, so he made Naruto sit on top of him, though they had to separate for lack of air. Naruto, I feel bad for Ino and Sakura. Sasuke, why do they like me? Naruto, well, yes. Sasuke, don't worry about them. If they don't accept our relationship, that's their problem. We're happy together. Naruto, Sasuke, you're going to make this sunny day end and it will start to rain. Sasuke, what? Why are you saying that, Dobi? Naruto,
Because it's very rare for you to say what you feel. You were always cold and curt with people when I first met you. Sasuke, well, get used to me saying nice things to you because I'll only do it with you and no one else. Naruto, okay. They were very close to each other, too close, so Kurama, feeling jealous as an older brother, stepped between them. Kurama, they are very close. That's what Kurama's face looked like. Naruto, hey Kurama, are you jealous of Sasuke? Kurama, HMPH, I won't say anything. Naruto, Kurama, you're jealous of Sasuke, hahaha, don't worry, I have love for you too. Sasuke, so this is the great nine-tailed fox, the most dangerous and terrifying one. Kurama, brat, show some respect to your elders. I'm older, but I'm just in my chibi form here. Naruto, Sasuke, do you want to see Kurama as he really is? Sasuke, good. Naruto, fist bumped. Sasuke glanced at Naruto for a moment, then at Kurama, who was standing in the middle but disappeared. Then he looked again at Naruto, who had his fist raised, so he bumped fists with the blonde boy and appeared somewhere else very beautiful. Sasuke, and this place. Naruto, this is my mental space, do you like it? Sasuke, he's very cute. Naruto, thanks, look, there's Kurama. Sasuke looked where Naruto was pointing and was surprised to see a large fox 2 meters tall. It had beautiful orange fur, black tips on its tails and ears, and crimson eyes with slit pupils. Sasuke, so that's your true appearance. Kurama, HMP. Naruto, hee, Kurama can be a little grumpy sometimes. Sasuke, it shows. Naruto, I think you and Kurama are related because you're both bitter. Kurama/Sasuke, we're not related. Naruto, well, I was just saying. Kurama pulled Naruto and Sasuke out of the mental space, causing them to open their eyes. Naruto, did he just pull me out of my mental space? Sasuke, yes. Naruto realized he was still sitting on Sasuke's lap, so he was about to get up, but he felt 2 hands grab his waist. Sasuke, where are you going? Naruto, well, I was about to get up. Sasuke, why Naruto, aren't you uncomfortable? Sasuke, no, actually I'm more like this. Naruto, then I'll stay like this. Naruto rested his head on Sasuke's chest while Sasuke hugged him around the waist. They stayed like that for a few minutes until Naruto had the idea to go for a walk to the village with Sasuke. So they left the house and started walking peacefully while talking about anything and everything. Naruto, that's not true. Sasuke, if it is. Naruto, no. Sasuke, of course when you get angry you puff out your cheeks, and you're emptying them now. Naruto, that's not true. Sasuke, of course he is Dobi. Naruto, of course he's not afraid. They continued like this for a while until they ended up changing the subject. Sasuke, they still haven't announced who was promoted to Chunin. Naruto, apparently not yet, but we shouldn't help each other either, don't you think? Sasuke, yes, although the Hokage is taking a long time to decide. Naruto, well, you have to understand that he's very old and maybe it's harder for him to think fast. Sasuke, you know that if someone hears you they can tell the Hokage, right? Naruto, if they tell him he won't say anything because he knows it's true, besides, I always call him old man. Sasuke, you're hopeless, Dobi. Naruto, don't call me Dobi team. They were about to argue again when a voice stopped them. Sasuke-kun, Sasuke, and what does she want now? Naruto, don't be mean team. Hello Sasuke-kun. Sasuke, what do you want? Chapter 37. Sasuke, what do you want, Sakura? Sakura, Sasuke-kun, the Hokage is calling us, oh yeah, you too, Naruto idiot. Naruto, okay, let's go database. They walked peacefully through the streets of Konoha until they reached the Hokage Tower when they saw Kakashi at the door of the Hokage's office waiting for them. Something strange about him seemed off. Naruto, Kakashi-sensei, what are you doing here? Kakashi, waiting for them. Uruka made me come in a hurry. Naruto, Uruka-sensei. Kakashi, he told me we'd have a mission and threatened to burn something I cherish, he said, sweating profusely. Naruto, okay. Kakashi was about to knock on the door, but Naruto was faster than the trainee, barging in without permission and startling Hiruzen. Naruto, hey old man. Hiruzen, hello Naruto, Sasuke, Sakura, Kakashi. Sakura, hello Hokage-sama. Naruto, you idiot, you need to show more respect to the Hokage. Hiruzen, leave it like that, Sakura. Naruto always called me that and I got used to it. Naruto, hee Hiruzen, hee when are we going fishing? Hiruzen, I don't know yet, Naruto, I have a lot of paperwork. Naruto, and why doesn't he make a clone to take care of that? I've told him a million times. Hiruzen, well, when you return from your mission. Naruto, deal. Kakashi, and what mission will he give us? Hiruzen, you must help a woman remove the weeds from her garden. Naruto, those missions again. Hiruzen, yes Naruto, for now you'll have to do those missions. Kakashi, well, we should go. Those weeds aren't going to pull themselves out, are they? Sakura/Naruto/Sasuke, yes. Team 7 left the Hokage Tower and headed to the house of the woman, who had asked them to remove the weeds from her garden. When they arrived, there was the woman. She was a little chubby with long, dark brown hair as were her eyes, and she wore a traditional purple kimono. Kakashi, hello ma'am, are you the woman who requested our services? Woman, if I want them to pull the weeds, it's because I can't do it myself.
Kakashi, okay, don't worry, we'll take care of it. Woman, thank you, well, I'll leave you my garden, I need to go get my hair cut. The woman left the place, leaving Team 7 to begin pulling the weeds growing in the garden. They spent an hour removing all the plants, but in the end they had finished. Sakura, Sasuke-kun, would you like to go on a date with me? Sasuke, no, actually I have to go train with Kakashi-sensei. Kakashi, what? Sasuke gave Kakashi one of those looks that he understood, so he decided to go along with it. Kakashi, yes, Sakura, Sasuke is busy training with me. Sakura, and after your training. Sasuke, I'll be tired, so goodbye. Sasuke dragged Kakashi away from there. It was true that he would have training with Kakashi today since he was eager to train, but Sakura was left alone since Naruto had gone to the Hokage Tower with Hiruzen. So she went home dejected, while Naruto was now taking Hiruzen to the forest where they had met, since the Hokage had left a clone to do all his work. When they arrived at the forest, Naruto and Hiruzen started fishing in the river while talking and laughing at everything they said. Then they ate what they had caught while Naruto told Hiruzen about his relationship with Sasuke and about him being a virgin, leaving Hiruzen so surprised he fainted from the shock while processing everything in his head. After a few hours, they had to leave since it had gotten dark. When Naruto arrived at his apartment, he found Zabuza and Haku eating, and when they saw him, they invited him to eat, but Naruto told them he had already eaten with them. Hiruzen and Naruto simply said goodnight, and Naruto went to his room to sleep, while Kurama emerged from Naruto's body to sleep in his stomach. They had barely lain down before they were fast asleep, not even a minute old.
Chapter 38.
It was daytime, and we found ourselves in a forest with a blonde-haired boy with sapphire blue eyes training very hard with Jiraiya in Taijutsu. They had been training since morning until they took a break. Jiraiya, Naruto, I want to talk to you about something. Naruto, what's wrong, Iro-senin? He asked, glancing at him out of the corner of his eye. Jiraiya, I was offered the position of the new Hokage.
Naruto, really? He asked excitedly.
Jiraiya, yes, but I rejected it. Naruto, what, why? Now he was too confused. Jiraiya, I don't see myself as a Hokage. I'm one of those people who can't stay in one place. Besides, I have my network of informants, but one thing's for sure, we'll go find the new Hokage. Naruto, new, is she a woman?
Jiraiya, she is Tsunade Senjula.
Naruto, the slug princess. He asked in surprise, but didn't nobody know where she is? Jiraiya, nobody knows where she is, but we'll find her. Naruto, will we find it? Jiraiya, if you want to come with me, Naruto, and we can train on the way, what do you say? Naruto, yes. Jiraiya, then we'll leave first thing tomorrow morning.
Naruto, okay.
The two continued their rigorous training. Jiraiya was already teaching him the Rasengan and how to perfect it, which was very difficult to do. An hour passed, and Jiraiya let Naruto go so he could rest for the next day. So Naruto walked through the streets of Konoha, not paying attention to where he was going, lost in thought, until he reached the Hokage headquarters. Ever since he had learned that Minato, the fourth Hokage, was his father, just like Kushina Uzumaki, he always went to the Hokage headquarters whenever he could and sat where the fourth Hokage sat to see the entire village. Naruto, Odo-san, Okasan, will you be happy for me? He wondered to himself, but that question remained unanswered since no one was going to answer him, or so he thought. Kurama, kid, I'm sure they ray proud and happy for you. Naruto, thank you, Kurama, but I wish they were here with me right now, hugging me, he said a little sadly. Kurama emerged from inside Naruto and surrounded him with his tails as he was the height of a horse and placed Naruto on his furry orange chest. Naruto, Kurama, do you promise never to leave me? Kurama, I promise. Besides, before your parents died I promised them I would protect you. And that's what I'll do, he said, looking at the blue sky. Naruto, what would my life be like if they were alive? Kurama, they would surely give you a lot of love, train you, and teach you everything they know about their clans. They would also protect you from anything that could harm you and give you advice that would be useful for the future. Naruto, Kurama, can you keep talking? Your voice calms me down. It makes me feel like I'm not alone in this world full of darkness, and that you're like my older brother, telling me about what you've learned throughout your life, he said, looking at the sky. Kurama, kid, you're the most important person to me besides my brothers and my father. Naruto, what was your father like? Kurama, he was the kindest person I had ever known. He saw the good in everyone. He was very wise and very loving. He loved us all equally, but then he left us in this world to protect it and to get along with humans so we could protect them from something worse than us, the Biju. Naruto, anything worse than you guys? Kurama, if something worse than me happens, kid, and I'm afraid I won't be able to protect you from it, he said, worried about his pup. Naruto, then I'll get stronger and protect you like you're doing now. Kurama, if only it were that easy, kid, if only it were that easy. After talking for a while, they gazed at the blue sky, which calmed them. Naruto was thinking about Sasuke. He wanted to see him, but he couldn't because Sasuke was training with Kakashi and he didn't want to interrupt his training. Everything was peaceful as they listened to the birds singing. After a few minutes, Naruto began training again, learning what Jiraiya was teaching him. Although it wasn't much Jiraiya could teach him since he had trained with his own parents, he still enjoyed learning new things. Naruto, Iro-sennin knows how to control your chakra. He gives me a lot of advice on how to control it better. Kurama, well, that's because Kushina explained it to you properly in case she wasn't there to explain it to you. Naruto, well, the truth is I can only reach the third tail without losing control, and I have very little control over the fourth. Kurama, calm down, pup, you'll control it. After that, it was already night, so Naruto went home and prepared his things for tomorrow's mission with Jiraiya while a clone made the food. Naruto, the Rasengan is really good, I'm glad my dad taught it to me, but the Rasen Shuriken I still can't master it the way I want. Kurama, pup, that takes time, so you must be patient. Naruto, yeah, you don't. The blonde boy sat down to eat peacefully with Kurama by his side. When he finished, he got up to wash the dishes and then went to his room to change. Afterward, he lay down on his bed thinking about everything that had happened these last few days. Sasuke was very kind to him, but with the others he was cold and distant, which made Naruto happy because at least to Sasuke he was a special person. After an hour of thinking, he went to sleep.
Let me know in the comments below if you guys want the next part. Also check out my other video that has been shown and left. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and share this video. And have a fantastic day. Bye.